64 secrets that would ruin lives if they got out. According to Reddit, number 64. I stole a bunch of money from my in-laws. In my mind, I feel justified and have tenuous plans to make it right one day when I can. However, if it was found out, my wife would probably kill me and I'd never be able to face my in-laws again. The basic story is that my father-in-law had made our life and his family's life a living hell for many years. He was an alcoholic who would get drunk every day, verbally harass his family, and occasionally beat his wife. My wife lived with him while we were dating, and I was glad to have removed her from that situation once we got married and moved into our own place. However, I soon learned that this would not let us be rid of him. Though we moved to a new house, we were still in the same city as my in-laws. One night, we were surprised by a knock at the door at 1 a.m. to find my father-in-law, stinking drunk, wanting to come in. He had been kicked out of his own house, and my wife let him in out of sympathy. And we had to endure his drunk ramblings for the next few hours until he finally fell asleep. These late-night visits would become a regular occurrence for the next few years, even after my wife and I had a baby. He would come over late at night and insist on receiving food and an audience for his drunk ramblings, leading to my many sleepless nights. Occasionally, I'd refuse him entry, once to face threats from him, and leading to consternation from my wife for being so unsympathetic. That's my word of the day. After all, in her mind, he was suffering from a disease, and I should regard him as a victim of illness. The only respite would have been if he were to go to jail, sometimes for domestic abuse and sometimes for other charges related to his drinking. I remember being generally pissed off at the same time. Much of it was aimed at my in-laws, who just decided to lock him out every night, knowing he would eventually wander to my house and become our problem. I also remember being very resentful of my mother-in-law for not calling the police on him more often. The only time police were called when circumstances were extreme and other kids would call. Well, I was most pissed off of the judicial system, who continually let the obvious menace out of jail to repeat what he had been doing for years. This is where the money comes in. My in-laws don't own cars and don't drive, so being the good son-in-law, but mostly caving under pressure from my wife, I would always be the one who would have to take him to court dates, to lawyers' offices, post bond, and get him out of jail. Sometimes I'd have to take off entire days from work to take care of his legal problems. Well, one day we learned that he had beaten another drunk almost to death and was charged with attempted murder. Bond was $10,000. The family spent several weeks getting the funds together from their money, but also from extended family. They were so used to posting bond and losing it that it had become routine. Long story short, my father-in-law was convicted and sentenced to several decades given his long criminal history. I remember breathing a sigh of relief that we wouldn't have to deal with him for the foreseeable future. However, due to some court technicality, the bond was returned. Since I posted the bond, the check was in my name for $10,000 in interest. The in-laws, who were used to losing their bond payments and quite legally and financially illiterate, would have no idea, so I decided to pay myself. I know it was their money, but I felt justified given the time that I had to give and emotional hardship that I had to go through. They have refused to clean their hands of this matter. And that's the gist of that. Well, he put in a lot of time and effort.
Yeah,
no harm there. I can see that more like a justifiable thing. It's a shame that it would ruin him, though. I guess because, it isn't his money at the end of the day.
I don't understand why the wife didn't excommunicate him the first chance she got.
Because people will do crazy things in the name of love. Number 63, throw away. I'm a 29-year-old guy with a good job, beautiful girlfriend, and a loving family. Nobody knows that I, number one, have an eating disorder. I used to be 330 pounds, but dieted and exercised down to 150 pounds. Everything was healthy and great until 6 months into maintaining my weight, something snapped, and I'm obsessed. I'm back up to 170 and I hate myself. Oh no. I feel ill when I look in the mirror, and here I thought it was like bulimia or something. Number two, I hate myself, related to number one. Compliments make me uncomfortable, praise makes me insecure. I feel like a fraud and an imposter. I hate my face, my body, my personality, my sense of humor. I hate everything about me. Jesus Christ, guy. See a therapist. Number three, for nearly 7 years before number one started, I've been trying to find a way to discreetly end it all, but I don't want to hurt my loved ones. It can't look like what it is, and it has to be the right time of year. Don't want to ruin holidays, birthdays, and anniversaries, etc. Last year I walked out into traffic but failed, and instead caused an accident. You fuck. I have no sympathy for that kind of shit. It's so easy to kill yourself and not leave a mess. Do you know what I mean? Think about it. 2 years ago.
What if he had gotten hit and someone has to deal with the fact that they
That's
got
my
involved
point,
with someone?
Stripes. That's my point. Walking in the traffic is not the way to do it. You know what I mean? Because the guy has already made it clear that he's put some thought into it. If he's trying to make it so that his loved ones don't feel the burden of him being gone, as if you can do that, you know what I mean, with somebody that loves you, and you're trying to avoid holidays and shit like this, why are you inconveniencing people that, you know, may be on the road and trying to live their life by getting them into a wreck? And he's already fucked it up. He's probably fucked up somebody else's life. There's nothing cool about this guy. Fuck this guy. For the sake of, you know, this list, let me continue. Last year I walked out into traffic but failed and instead caused an accident. And he just, you know, continues. 2 years ago that's a reason to hate yourself right there. Do you know what I'm saying? All this other shit, I hate my face, my body, my personality, I think my sense of humor, blah, you know what I mean? Kill yourself, faggot. You're out here causing accidents because you hate your life. You know how easy it is to like drown yourself, hang yourself. You know what I mean? Better for you to leave a mess for other people to clean up than to cause a mess in other people's lives. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, man. Anyway, 2 years ago, I was in high school, a high-speed single-car accident. I drove my car into a bridge abutment. Man, we're going to be learning some words today.
Like,
is that pronounced abutment? A structure built to support the lateral pressure, an arc or span at the end of a bridge. Why would you try to collapse a bridge, bro?
He said accident, so is this another suicide attempt, or?
I don't bing bong know, Stripes. But he drove his car into a bridge abutment and walked away with only airbag burns. My next plan is to volunteer in a high-risk area country, but I also don't want to die painfully. I'm a coward. We already know that. I don't want my family and girlfriend to be painted with the suicide stigma, but I also cannot fathom why it's not okay to knowingly and willingly make the decision to quit. Get somebody to inject your sorry ass and then burn you to a crisp, bro. Pay them to do this. I just don't understand it.
Isn't there a state in America that'll do that? Like euthanize you if you just pass?
Let's get through this. Why can a terminally ill person do it but not me? Therapy hasn't worked. He's already had therapy, cuck. Medication just made it worse. I tried. For me, it's a rational decision made over years. I'm not reacting to a crisis or anything. Hours, what I want. The only time that I've ever felt truly and unequivocally happy has been the weeks leading up to my 2 past failed attempts. Good for you. Listen, anybody listening to this that is depressed, trust me, I know where you're coming from or something, right? It's not something that you can really articulate and translate because depression for each person is a different thing, but it's definitely something that you know when you feel it. And if you thought about killing yourself, bro, you've definitely thought about being civil and human about it as opposed to creating a mess for other people to clean up or, you know, ruining other people's lives in the process. It's one thing to not give a fuck, you know what I mean? But to be so disgusting, a douche, that you're genuinely all about ruining someone else's existence because you hate yourself, that's like part of the problem. You know what I mean? If you're depressed, here's a simple trick to make yourself feel better. Put time and effort into making somebody else's day. It's easy. You can do it with money. You can do it by telling them a joke. You can distract them in a way, compliment them. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not all about you. And this guy's like, I hate myself and my sense of humor in my body and shit like this. Make somebody else feel good about their face or their body or their personality or their sense of humor. You know what I mean? And you'll honestly be able to feed off of the feeling that you give another person. And I of course I have to use the let you know that it's not the same in everybody else's. Sorry, I'm stretching out here. It's not the same for everybody. You know, it's not a general blanket thing that's going to work for everybody. But naturally, most people feel a little okay by picking somebody up when they're down. Do you get what I'm saying? But God, what a prick in number 63. Forgive me. We are not going through these quickly. Number 62. On the outside, I am a happily married 30-something, about to buy a house, in sync with my wife on most things, like religion, kids, that things will get better for us. In reality, I am a deeply depressed, secret alcoholic, which I fear is already adversely affecting my health, but I can't stop. I don't believe in any higher power anymore, and derive little or no pleasure or satisfaction from anything. Most of this started with a sudden and untimely death of my mom and some other family drama that happened around the same time while I was at university. I powered my way through, and because I was encouraged by those around me, even though I wanted so badly just to drop out. This also was about the time that I started abusing alcohol, and I barely drank at all before. In my family, things are rather scattered now, living in different states, as we all are. My wife and I are close, but I have been unwilling or unable to find or make new, meaningful friends as an adult in the city, and that I moved to for a job. Having trouble finding friends. That's everybody's story, baby. I am so stressed. I feel pins and needles in my brain/head and tongue constantly, and drink heavily, 5 to 10 drinks or units per day, most of the time, sometimes more. I can hold off if I'm traveling around family or in a situation where I can't drink at all. I don't even get really that drunk visibly anymore, which is why I think I hide it well from my wife. There is usually an empty vodka bottle hidden in my briefcase by the time she gets back from work, and I usually have poured my first glass of wine by then to mask that I have already been drinking. I get home from work earlier than she does. She thinks I am as happy and fulfilled as she, and excited and ready to have kids and start a family, etc. In truth, I am just numb to this world. I try to love her, I think I do, and expend all of my energy keeping up the facade and affection for her. But apart from that, I have zero energy or desire to do anything, and I used to be athletic and still look decent, but my physical shape is fading fast. I don't have or enjoy any hobbies. I just wake up, go to work, drink when I can, and mark the days as I get older and closer to eventually dying. I don't know what to do. Tried therapy back in the day and meds didn't seem to help. I just am trying to make life okay for the people around me who I don't want to see be like me inside. And this is what elevates this boy to that of a champion. You see what I'm saying, Stripes? This is a big deal. Depression is okay. You get what I'm saying?
It's bringing
depression
other people
is
down
okay. It's not thinking of other people. It's just like disassociating yourself from the rest of the world. You have to bring other people up. This is your lifeline in life. You should be to them the way you wish people were to you. And in that way, when you die, maybe you've made the world a better place. Do you get what I'm saying? When people are illogical, when people are nonsensical, when people don't listen to themselves speak, when people speak that bullshit and like they don't admit to it, dude, be what you wish they would be. This simple line, I am just trying to make life okay for the people around me because I don't want them to be like me inside. That's what it's all about, dude. Guy says, but beyond that, I feel like I have totally missed the boat and then past satisfaction or having any meaningful place in the world. Hope someone reads this. Peace. This poor guy. The first step is going to be communicating that to someone. And if he has a woman, then he should try to communicate it to her. Because if she's not like a basic chick, then hopefully she won't make it 100% about her. And she'll, she'll be able to communicate back with him so that they can work towards not necessarily a solution, but work towards taking him away from where he is now. Tiny steps, day at a time. You get what I'm saying? Because one of the biggest things that he said in his thing is that he can hold it off while he's traveling or around family. Does that mean that we should make it so people are always around, or that, we go on a trip and we try to knock this out? You got to tell her. But how can I reach this guy? I can't reach these people. This is one of the few people I would ever want to reach. And I want to reach this guy. Somebody says, please talk to your wife. Yeah. I'm so glad for Reddit. I'm so glad for the internet, dude. Because when people can come together and agree on a course of action, this is what he should do. Talk to your wife. Yeah, it'll hurt her to know what's really going on, but she is your partner and you ought to trust her. You cannot solve your problems alone, dude. My thoughts exactly. If she's with you and she's down and she's happy and you're both mutual. If you're together, it's because you can communicate well. Otherwise, you're just waiting for one fight to split your dumbasses up. Do you get what I'm saying? If you're compatible, you can communicate. You both can work towards a solution. A relationship is a two-way street. It's about compromise. And the best relationships get broken up because maybe one person feels like they feel more strongly than the other. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's a lack of mutuality, and then maybe jealousy sets in, all kinds of shit like this. But if you two can communicate, if you two are mutual, then this is what's up. Talk to this woman. Like, he put this very well. You know what I mean? He wrote it like a man. You get what I'm saying? He didn't write this like, he's all over the place. He was very concise. He drinks. He's not happy. Shit like this. This isn't like a crazy problem, but it's going to take a specific type of, approach to solve it. And I think that together with his lady, he could do it. So moving on, man. What secret could ruin your life? Number 61. I've slept with a lot of guys ranging from 20 to 75. My parents would trip because they're really conservative. Also, I'm 18 years old and a dude. The music stopped right there. You like that?
I don't want any more. Please move on. I don't want to think about an 18-year-old getting with a 75-year-old.
It's an 18-year-old dude, he said.
I heard you. It doesn't make it any better.
And he being a bong, okay? Somebody said, I hope you're careful and using protection, man. It got gay like 3 into his stripes. Number 60. I don't want to
hear about butt stuff.
Number 60. All right, here it goes. I've been sexually assaulted so many times by so many different people. What? The first time it happened, I told someone and no one believed me. It was absolute hell. If I told people about the rest of them and they reacted in the same way, I wouldn't be able to cope. We're dealing with it in therapy right now, and I keep remembering more and more times. Some were with family. It's fucking terrifying to have no idea whether or not I'm a virgin or how many times someone has used my body. Oh my God.
What do they mean? Are they implying they might have been drugged at some point?
No, I mean, like when you're young, you just suppress a lot of things that you don't understand or are traumatic. So response is, I guess we're trying to support her. Somebody says, in my opinion, you lose your virginity the first time you have consensual sex.
That's a nice way to look at things.
What you went through was assault, and you were a victim, not a participant. Someday, you will meet someone who loves you and respects you for who you are. I wish you the best of luck. Well, that's the honest truth. Number 59. I think I was raped. I'm not sure. I was driving through Texas and stayed at one of my dad's friend's houses from his 4-wheel drive forum. Probably not the best idea in hindsight, but he seemed like a good guy. He cooked me dinner, bought me snacks for the road, and gave me gas money. We had been drinking and bullshitting, and I realized that I was a little drunk for how much I had drunken, so I went to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night suddenly, and the door to the room I was staying in was open. I don't remember anything, but I just remember feeling a need to get the fuck out of there the next morning. He offered to cook me breakfast and whatnot, and I just said no, I had a long day. My butt was hurting the next day. The next few days. I don't know if it was because I had been driving for 8 to 10 hours. I don't know what happened that night, but I've always thought I was raped. I don't know, man. You need a little bit of my butt hurts. You've been driving like a half a day. Come on, man. I don't know. You're gonna need a little bit more than that, ladies. Jesus Christ. My butt hurts.
Wait, what makes you think it's a lady?
Nigga, it's a lady. Don't play with me. Why isn't it showing the comments? You're killing me. You need to show me the comments. This is a big deal. I was 58 so disastrously deleted.
Because you're picking up a years old list, so things are gonna be gone.
Years old? It's a day old.
Oh, I thought you told me it was years old.
I told you that this question has been asked on Reddit years ago.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm absorbing everything halfway with you lately.
Yeah, you just pick and choose words, and then number 57. There's a super high possibility that I have a child. A girl I was with, who turned out to be crazy, lied about being on birth control. The times like up almost too good, and the times like a... The times line up. Okay. The times like up. God damn. The times line up almost too well or too good, and it looks kind of like me. Since then, she has been married, and her husband seem happy together, so I've never worried about it. Hey, look, man, are there any men like listening to this?
Listeners?
Shut up, Stripes. Let me finish what I'm saying. Are there any men listening to this who have married a woman who already had a kid? Leave a comment in the comment section, because for some reason I just don't see myself ever being able to do that. Like, not that it's like, not that women who have children are like, to be avoided like a pariah or something, but you get what I'm saying. I mean,
I can kind of see the pros. Like, you don't have to deal with her when she's pregnant. Like,
what are you talking about, Stripes? Here's the point. For many people, getting into a union with a mate is to procreate, to further your stupid ass line so you can have a child and go through all of the corny ass monkey balls, right? That's the point. And if the person already has a kid, so then what, are we going to have another kid and then raise the main kid, but then there's the other kid that you had by the other dude? It's just not up my alley, is what I'm saying. Not that there's anything wrong with those who do, but let me hear it from your perspective. I'm sure that the idea of finding somebody that you connect with in such a way that it doesn't matter who they had with whoever, you can love because they're part of them as well and stuff like this, blah, 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 blah. Who knows? Number 56. As a police officer, I rarely ever arrest people for possession of marijuana. Oh, really? Nice, cop. Something that, if found out, would probably get me ostracized and possibly fired, since I work in conservative department. Well, take my upvote. You cop, you are my man. You know what I'm talking about? My man. It's just like, what's that, some weed? You guys have a good evening. Wait a minute. Is that a black guy in the back of the car? Step out of the vehicle. That's pretty good. Sorry. Number 55. My best friend had a girlfriend in a different state. They were dating for almost 2 years. We were all friends and talked. And after they broke up, we kept talking. We both came to realize we had feelings for each other. And I had a cousin in the same state who I went to visit over spring break. We met up and fucked. He has no idea we ever talked, and if he ever did, I don't think he would speak to me anymore. Why would your best friend had a girlfriend and then they stopped dating, and you took sloppy seconds, and you think he would stop talking to you if you did? Nigga, you the one who you banged her after they were done.
He's not worth keeping around if he thinks like it makes a difference with your next.
What,
That
Stripes?
doesn't mean you suddenly have dibs.
Number 54. The girl who was my best friend and my fiance at one point committed suicide. I have
Ooh.
proof that she faked it, and she's now living with a very rich 50-year-old man. She's 21. I know these people, and she didn't even leave the city. Everyone thinks that she passed away, and there's even a tombstone with her name on it. I don't know whose body is in there, but it's not hers. That's fucking creepy.
Amazing. She's got a second life.
Response reads, that's wow. How did no one else realize that? It was somehow arranged that no one actually saw the body, and you went very low profile. You could pull it off. With only a few people knowing, your life would kind of suck, though. Especially if your name were Kyle. Shit. Number 53.
What are you talking about? You just get to exist in a room. Like, that sounds like the best thing ever, honestly.
What, from a person who doesn't think anything through? I'm talking about you, Stripes. Number 53. I want to die. Not because anything bad has happened in my life, but because I am curious as to what would happen if it did. Huh. I spend a lot of time learning about various regions. This nigga meant religions, didn't he?
Regions. Contextually, what makes more sense to you?
Regions. Jesus, I spend a lot of time learning about various regions' ideas of what happens when you die, purely because of how curious I am. I have never been diagnosed with anything, and I doubt that I will ever kill myself, ever, to find out. But if I were ever told I was going to die, I probably wouldn't be bothered about it, because I get to find out all I have ever wanted to know. Where do we go when we die? Probably nowhere, man.
I thought I made peace with death, but then I got scared about cancer, so then I realized I'm terrified of dying just as much as anyone else.
You could literally and simply blink out of existence, and that's that. Number 52. 2 years ago, for 4 months, I was an escort/sugar baby. Wish I could be a sugar baby for somebody. Money given to a mistress in my country is considered a gift and tax-free on her part. I needed the money badly. I hadn't eaten a proper meal for a proper 3 meals for a while, and didn't get work at all. My first week I made $2,000 for a weekend's work. I didn't hate it either. My main visitor was a nice enough person, and though a lot older than I was, he wasn't unattractive. It felt pretty empowering at the time too. I just had a weird breakup in that he went to England and didn't tell me about it until he arrived. I figured after that, if people were so intent on screwing me over, I may as well make okay out of the deal too. Or make out okay, I guess. It stopped because my grandfather passed away, and I was asked to stay with my nana for a while to keep her company. It doesn't take long to lose contact with people. I don't regret it. I needed the money, felt weirdly beautiful, and learned some things. But my field of study will most likely put me into work in a Catholic or otherwise religious school setting, and there aren't many men I imagine would be okay with that sort of past. You'd be surprised when it comes to the Catholic Church. Number 51. Too long didn't read, I killed my family. You did not.
Wait, is there more? Is that it?
This nigga really made a throwaway to say that he killed his family. This is not real. Dude, shut up, Stripes. Give me a second. One night, about a decade ago, when I was 8 years old, I couldn't sleep at night, so I was just walking around the house looking for something to do. It was winter, so there was a fire in the fireplace. I knew it was going to be fire, okay? He burnt the house down. That's not so bad. That's not so bad as a murderer coming on and making an account, and then, I would not want to believe that, straight up. I started playing with it, throwing stuff into it, watching how it burns. At one point, a big log rolled out of the fireplace, and as a kid, I started to panic. I tried covering it with a blanket, then ran to the kitchen to get some water. When I came back, the whole living room was on fire, and it was a wooden house. I was terrified, and I ran out of the house. Literally, within a minute, it was burning like crazy. My older sister, younger brother, and mom who was pregnant at the time. All died instantly. Dad was working a night shift. No one really questioned me. My room had a window, and I said I left through it when I saw the fire. The real cause was never found out, and my dad was absolutely devastated, and a few weeks later, shot himself. I found the body. I've been living with my grandparents ever since. No one knows what really happened that night. I spent half of my life with therapists. I hate myself, have severe depression, and attempted suicide a while ago. How hard is it to suicide? You know what I mean? What do you mean attempted? What is with you kids?
I'd like to think all these attempted suicides are as a result of cold feet, you know?
No, dude. I just think people are legit incompetent. And like, that should make you feel fucking stupid. Not speaking directly to anybody who's tried to kill themselves who's listening to this. If you tried to kill yourself and it didn't work, it's because you were meant to live and you should continue to. I'm not teasing, Stripes. You're not supposed to laugh, even though I delivered it with a bit of... Yes, I'm aware of how it sounded. I know what I sound like. My point is legit. Like, don't come down on yourself, you know? Take it easy. You know, pass me some money or something, you know? Then you'll be contributing in a way that you thought you weren't capable of, you know? A lot of people gotta end up committing suicide because they feel that their existence maybe is meaningless or without purpose, or that they're not doing anything that's gonna give them, you know, any kind of validation. But you could help other people, as I mentioned, loving about that guy's post earlier. So, damn guys, at least you didn't kill your family, burning the damn house down. A response to this reads, "Holy fuck, this hits home. I was playing in our family home fireplace, throwing things in it, mostly paper, trash, and stuff. Well, the paper towel lit on fire and flew onto the carpet. I ran to my room to get a shoe, and I was able to put it out. I burned the carpet, but that was it. I deservedly got into pretty big trouble, a week grounded or something, but my story could exactly have been like yours if my luck was worse that day. Your family lost your lives, dude." Somebody said, "Don't kill yourself, live for them."
I almost killed my family. Well, I would have been included.
Somebody else responds, "Assuming this is true, though God I hope it's not, then please find within yourself the ability to forgive yourself. We all do stuff all the time that could get ourselves and others killed. And dude, you were 8. At 8, most kids aren't sure if Harry Potter is real. As an adult, the number of times I've done something simple that could have gone wrong, could have lost control of my car after dropping a hamburger and killed a family, let the space heater go on, given the kid wrong medication, so on and so on. You weren't bad, you were incredibly unlucky. That's all. We all are one strike of bad luck away from being you. It's nothing you did, it's just something that happened to you. And finally, remember this. If your mom were to know what happened, her heart would break for you. I know that if the same thing happened, if I die because my beautiful little girl does something like that, and I could speak from beyond to her, I'd tell her, Daddy loves you, don't worry, it's okay, you did nothing wrong, just be happy, that's all I ever wanted. Her well-being, her peace of mind would 100% be my main concern. It sounds like an incredible parent. I don't want to die, but as a father and a brother, that's far better than my little girl or younger brother's life being ruined as you described for yourself." This is a top parent leaving this comment right here. Are you kidding me? Holy bing bong. I don't know them, but if they were parents or siblings, anything like the ones I know, all they want for you is for you to be happy and live a good life in peace. A lot of people never find peace, baby. Unfortunately, this thread is a testament to all the terrible, depraved shit fully adult people intentionally do to each other, yet I never for one instant saw you as anything other than a victim in your story. I don't know the rest of your life's tale, but you have nothing to be ashamed of in what you wrote here. I'm not a priest, but to the extent a stranger or a Redditor can grant you absolution for what you have described above, consider yourself absolved. Much love to you, and be good to yourself. You guys are your own worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy. Okay, number 49, guys. I really want to hear some of that depraved shit he was talking about. You know what I'm talking about? That guy was all like, look, this whole thread is a testament to all the terrible and depraved shit fully adult people intentionally do to one another. Let's get into it, guys. In the list that reads, what secret could ruin your life? Number 50 reads, I basically keep posting this, but why not again? In 2009, I was working at a dead-end job, living paycheck to paycheck, and my then-girlfriend, now wife, and I were constantly struggling with the stress of financial difficulties, and I could never get a job in the industry I wanted to work in. Fast forward to Easter 2009, and I was sitting in the passenger seat of our little car while my wife was driving. We got T-boned on the passenger side. That crumpled the entire side of the car and banged me up pretty good. I managed to get out of the car and check on my wife, who was fine. I started to feel minor throbbing in my leg, but quickly composed myself and ran over to check on the other driver. He was fine. It was a big truck, but he was pissed. He hit us and immediately admitted blame. It was pretty clear since he ran a red light. So we sort out the towing exchange information and I go home. That night, I get a frantic call from my brother. He always calls asking for help. I don't even remember what it was for. I was just like, look, man, we were just in a bad accident and my leg is really feeling fucked up. I can't help you. My brother was totally stunned and told me that I need to go to a doctor. I was mostly exaggerating. My leg just bruised up and didn't want to go out and lend a hand. Next day, my leg is a bit stiff and I started to feel a bit lazy. So I called into work saying that I'm having trouble standing up after the accident. They say no worries, work from home and take it easy. So I do. I spend the day playing World of Warcraft and eating old Chinese food. My girlfriend came home and I was really just feeling lazy. And I made this big scene of not being able to walk easily to help out. She immediately takes me to the doctor and despite protesting, they send me off for x-rays, which while they were waiting, the nurse suggests that I start looking into a lawyer since this was MVC. Not sure what that means. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just went along with it and started faking this injury. The x-rays came back negative for any breaks, and there was a possibility of a dislocation that righted itself. So I just said, yeah, I think there was a sharp pain during the impact. Anyways, I went on a short-term disability. My girlfriend was forced to carry the weight. I went on long-term disability and started going through physical therapy, which I faked my way through. Fast forward 12 months, I'm done faking. I've recovered from my injury. I'm at a party with some friends who introduced me to this guy who heard my story and my struggle. He was so impressed by my perseverance, he offered me a salary job, nothing crazy, something like $45,000 a year. But when you've been working retail, it's huge. Then came a settlement that was worth over $90,000, which my girlfriend and I used to buy our first house. Fast forward 4 years, I'm extremely successful, making over $100,000 with commissions. And I've been promoted multiple times and got married and literally owe it all to being lazy and faking a sick day following a car accident so I could play PvP in World of Warcraft all day. My entire life is based around a single lie. But even to this day, sometimes I get out of things and say my leg is acting up.
I've never seen a lie snowball positively like that, but it pretty much did.
Worked out for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all we can do is be jealous. What a bing bong. What a frosty bing bong. Number 49. What's a secret that could ruin your life if it got out? I wish I'd never had kids and often fantasize about a life without them. I love them and they have a way of warming my heart on bad days. Warming, sorry. But I only had them because we were expected to after getting married. We've sunk so many thousands of dollars into children over the years, I wonder how much more financially stable we'd be. Trying to arrange drop off and pick up is a pain when we have to work long hours or have irregular hours, and having to plan any outings well in advance to make sure someone can watch the kids sucks as well. I tried to instill good values, but they still act like spoiled whiny brats all the time. But I do try and make sure and let them know that they are loved every day. Well, it's really funny that so many people think of this shit as like an afterthought. You know what I mean? Do you think a lot of people go out and get like a dog or a cat and then think to themselves, I'll probably never have to spend a dime on this cat or dog ever. And if I do, I can just bury him in the backyard. It's not so easy with a baby, is it? You know what I mean? Maybe you could just take out that rage on the kid. Like they asked to be born. It's their problem, like their mistake. Like most parents, Jesus Christ, despite all my rage, I'm still just a parent in a cage. Number 48, throwaway for a reason. Is it really, though? No. Oh, yeah, he's only responding to the post that he just made. What happened?
Did he murder his family, too?
Dude, that was brutal. You burnt a house down and killed your family. I really just want to believe that's like a no-sleep post that somebody posted or something, you know?
Well, I'm sure it's happened to someone somewhere, even if this is a lie.
Man,
it sounds like a comic book story, like an origin story for a comic book hero or villain.
Easy now, Stripes.
Sorry, I'll reel it in.
Number 48. Throwaway for a reason. When I was a teenager, I played grab ass with my cousin, who was a bit younger than me. I was really into it. One day she was staying over at our house, and I went a little too far. She went so far as to have to set rules. That's when I stopped and realized how fucked up I was. We're good friends now, and I'm seriously glad that she never mentioned any of this to our family. Not sure if she forgave me or is putting up a fake front of friendship for the sake of our family, but yeah, I'm really ashamed of myself. Both of us have a fairly stable, healthy relationship with significant others, and I never think of her any inappropriate way. First time I've ever said anything about this to anyone. Too long didn't read. I molested my younger cousin and changed for the better. I guess he edits to say that they were both like 13 to 14. Interesting. Well, I can honestly say that the most times I've played grab ass were with other boys when I was younger.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we were all like really like, we weren't gay. We were just like, we were gay in the traditional sense of the term. Not homosexual though, you know what I mean? We were giddy little happy silly boys, and we were totally musically inclined, and we loved to join, throw an arm around each other and make a jolly old tune and run around playing grab ass in the schoolyard. Oh, what a happy little giddy time we did have. Number 47, throwaway. I'm suicidal. My significant other doesn't know. Good for you. You have a significant other? That's so great. That's so great. I'm suicidal. I'm gonna just slice this wrist open. I've been planning on killing myself for over a year. How long does killing yourself take, you know? You gotta drop like a schematic. Are you crafting like a suicide machine for other people to use when he's done? That sounds pretty badass. Should I make a Kickstarter for a suicide machine? This is inappropriate, Kyle. I've been planning on killing myself for over a year. It would kill my parents and sister if they found out. My significant other would think I'd been lying to him with keeping the secret from him. Okay, some days are worse than others. I've gotten a dog recently and he's really helped me out a lot. I've actually had a pretty good past few days, but the thought of your pills or next to the bed, go take them, is always in the back of my mind. Here's the funny thing. You know, this bitch says she's been planning for a year to kill herself, but I bet you she hasn't looked up the proper pills to OD with. And I bet you that she could probably just like fuck herself up and go vegetable or lose feeling in like parts of her body with the dumbass pills she got next to her bed. You know what I mean? You can't just OD on any kind of pills. You could just fuck yourself up instead and lose vital, you know, control over certain motor functions. Shit like this. Guys, do some damn research, you know what I mean? We don't live in the age of the internet, so that, like I said, if you're listening to this, you should not be worried about killing yourself, okay? You guys are perfect and wonderful. And if you just decide that you wake up one day and you don't want to do anything or devote your life to anything, devote your life to me instead and send me all your paychecks. Jeez, I love you.
It's worked out for me just fine.
That's the first funny thing that Stripes has said. Do not believe Stripes' lies. Oh, dude, that would be the coolest fucking like thing to put on the wall of like a cult compound. You know, when they walk into like the opening area, welcome to the cult of Kyle, and there's like on the wall you see a phrase, do not believe Stripes' lies, and then like you just walk in, hello everyone, oh my god. And they'd be like, it's Stripes, and they're so excited, but they're looking at the phrase on the wall and they're like, what does it mean? And then you're like, what does what mean? And they look back and there's nothing there, or it says Stripes loves you instead, something weird like that.
Are you writing a movie?
Oh my god. And then you just hear chime noises. Do you like my chimes? Oh my god. My sick of it. Okay, look, I'm suicidal and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control. Oh fuck. Number 47.
Wait, was that the end of the other one?
No, it wasn't. I need to get through these as opposed to being a moron. And you know. Number 47. I'm suicidal, and I just can't, I don't know why, in my head it's like hardcore, like I'm about to lose, that's not what it says. I'm fuck.
Who needs to reel it in?
Shut up, I can do this, I don't know, wow, you're the reason I shouldn't do these with you. Number 47, I'm suicidal, my significant other doesn't know. I've been planning on killing myself for over a year, and I would kill my... No, it would... Shit, that was going to be... Okay. It would kill my parents and sister if they found out. My significant other would think I'd been lying to him with keeping it secret from him. Some days are worse than others. I've gotten a dog recently. I'm sorry. I was reaching for the mouse because it fell off my thigh. I keep my mouse on my thigh because it's like more comfortable that way. I've gotten a dog recently and he's really helped me out. I've actually had a pretty good few past days, but the thought of your pills are right next to your bed, go take them, is always in the back of my mind. The only thing that's stopping me is thinking that my family, my significant other, or my dog would do if they found me dead. I don't want them to go through that. Writing all of this out and thinking about this has made me realize I need therapy. I'm making an appointment today. Well, I'm glad your life is so easy to sort out. A lot of people don't have therapy as an option. So look, if you're listening to this and you're feeling down, I told your ass, man, like a lot of things I can say can't be applied in a general capacity to just everybody, because we're all individuals, different things work for different people, and you know, we're going to need to hit and miss until we find that real hit that's going to work for us. But like I said, take the time to find a specific person to, you know, lift up, and if you're lucky, at one point you'll find a person to lift up that wants to do it back with you, and it'll be just like this mutual ping pong match of like, no, you're amazing, no, you're amazing,
but there's
no,
another
bitch.
side of that coin, you know.
What?
It can be dangerous to become overly dependent on someone else to make you happy.
I wouldn't say that they need to find a dependence on another person so much as like, you know, everything needs to be done in moderation, okay? I'm not saying that you should be using making other people happy like the drug it is, you know what I mean? And trying to get that high of bringing other people to a point where they're just like, God, I feel so great and it's all because of you. Take this energy, you know what I mean? I want it to be more like what's the word? Okay. I don't know, you could even treat it like a hobby, you know? Because when you feel, look, shut up. When it comes to depression, okay, one of the most profound things that you can think to yourself is, I would never want anyone to feel this way, okay? If you've genuinely felt terrible, you've thought to yourself, I would kill to make it so nobody else has to feel this way. So when you come to that realization, the question you're forced to ask yourself is, what are you going to do about that? You're going to try and make it so other people don't feel that way, even if you have to distract them, if you have to tell them a joke. What are you going to do? What lengths are you going to go to make it so that somebody else doesn't get even close to feeling how you feel? And then act your life, you know, live your life accordingly. Maybe it'll make you a little bit happier, maybe it won't, you know what I mean? But at least you can be the reason that other people aren't feeling that way as well. Number 46, Stripes, bing bong. For short backstory, I lost my old friend at age 7. He got bullied recklessly for at least 9 years. Oh no, the person who wrote this got bullied recklessly for 9 years after, and had cancer, and have been suffering from depression and a fair few other mental illnesses. I have a girlfriend who I love with all my heart, stone cold as it may be, and I can't pull myself to tell her that I'm always depressed. I never get help because I feel like she would find it suspicious. And I don't want to tell her in case she feels like I don't like her because she doesn't cure the depression. Again, guys, so many people seem to be in a union with another person and considering depression as this like taboo subject that you can't bring up with your significant other because they would think it's their fault. Look, if the person you're with is so fucking fragile and irrational that they would just immediately assume that something that you're going through is completely and utterly their fault, then get away from this dumb motherfucker. You know what I mean? Tell them to write this shit on a paper and then say it out loud and ask them if they know what a bitch sounds like because that's what they sound like right now. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? This is why it's so good to have an audience and publicly shame people, because when you're with another person, if you can't be mutual, that's cool. If you can't communicate, that's cool, I guess. But both, my nigga? Both? No, you need one of those things. You need to be able to talk to the person that you're with. You need to be able to have a bit of mutuality with the person that you're with. So if you're going through something, it should be something that both of you can go through together. It's not like we've been trying for years and nothing's happening. You know what I mean? You know what it's more like? It's more like Flanders' parents when they're trying nothing and they're all out of ideas. You get what I'm saying? Get fucking help, because not everything is meant to be fixed on its own. You know what I mean? What separates us from the monkeys is the ability to use tools. So if you see a job that needs a tool to be finished and you're not picking up that tool, it's your own fault. You know what I'm talking about? It's your own fault. I'm depressed, but I don't want to tell anybody. I can't tell anybody. Number 45, man. Throwaway. I have literally fabricated my entire life and identity. Sounds pretty cool. This guy's catfishing his whole family life. You know what I'm talking about? I am not who I say I am, and my backstory is not the one anyone knows at any moment. I could be revealed, and that terrifies me. I didn't expect to build a life for myself under this identity. It was never supposed to last. Now I'm stuck. People naturally want answers, but I don't think they're going to elaborate. Somebody says, if you don't mind, could you please expand a bit on that? Duh, cuck. So the guy says, I'm not exactly sure what you want me to expand on. Really? I've been living under false identities and have been for a period of over 15 years, but under 25. I won't go in depth, but due to a traumatic childhood, I had to cut ties one day with my entire life. The longest I have spent in one identity since then is about 6 years. I have a home, a marriage, and a job. Legally, this isn't exactly secure. I'm guaranteed to one day lose everything and face serious consequences if I am found or found out. Well, that's what life on the run is like. It's not that crazy, but it is kind of like, scary for him or anybody else living in that situation. You know what I mean? You cut it and run when you're supposed to be somewhere or people supposed to be keeping tabs on you or shit like this. Oh boy, it's a scary life. You're constantly living on edge. You're constantly sleeping stressed. You waking up after every stress nightmare. All you really want is that good night's sleep, baby. Number 44. I smoke weed almost every day. Get a load of this guy. I'm in line for a promotion and have been working hard to get it. If my boss found out, there's no way she would give it to me. She hates weed and is vocal about it. It wouldn't be so much the weed, just that I didn't tell her. I love that it's your boss's place to know shit about your personal life. You know what I mean? Especially as it's not interfering with your ability to do your job.
Have you ever heard about how hard Chinese men party down after they leave work?
Chinese or Japanese?
Chinese businessmen.
I didn't know that Chinese businessmen got down too. I just heard they like to do crazy stuff like, like a normal man would if he could get away with it or pay for it. Objectifying women, smashing dishes, smelling panties, having a woman with heels step on your balls, shit like this.
I think that is Japanese men, but I'm talking about Chinese men.
What do the Chinese men do?
Well, I don't know who has it worse when it comes to business days.
Look, what are we doing? Judging them? Work hard, party hard. Just like live your life, you know what I mean? People living these lives doing all this shit and they could die tomorrow, you know? And they'll have lived that corny ass fuckboy, nothing contributed life, you know? And that'll be their legacy, you know? What do you remember about this guy? Well, one time I was walking across the street and they were like, hey man, I don't like the way you walk across the street. When I walk across the street, I go like this. And then they had a heart attack and died. But I'll always remember them talking about how they would walk across the street because they didn't like the way that I was doing it. Classy. Number 43. I haven't done anything. Okay. So this is a weird preface. I'm the sex department for over 2 years. I am the sex department. What? I think they mean to say that I haven't done anything in the sex department. But not only did it say I am, but I guess their phone perhaps auto-corrected it to I'm the sex department. I am the sex department. Look, I haven't done anything in the sex department for over 2 years because I'm afraid of it. Because one of my biggest fears is that I'd be ridiculed because my dick is below average. Well, how's that a secret that will ruin your life if it got out if you haven't had done anything in the sex department for over 2 years? And what changed between 2 years ago and now? I wonder if there was like a traumatic event where the lady was just like, oh my God, look at that baby pee-pee. And he was like, no. You know what he's like? He's like Cyril Figgis, except Cyril had a big bong, bing-a-ling-a-ling-dong. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Archer? My bad. Number 42, finding out that I have a mental disability and my whole life people have hidden it from me, treated me the same as if I was normal. How do you not know? Somebody said, wow, this is technically my biggest fear, that I'm actually a bit mental. Wait, a secret that ruined your life if it got out, finding out that I have a mental disability.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess the person that they don't want to know finds out that.
No, I think this person is saying that if they found out that they actually had a mental disability and that everybody was treating them normal, that they would flip out.
Oh.
I didn't expect to be so confused this low in the list. Number 41, I'm gay. I should have read it like when he hit the floor was like, I'm gay.
It's my favorite.
And a lot of my family / friends are pretty homophobic. Oh man, that's one of the greatest episodes of The Simpsons is when that flaming dude comes home and Homer doesn't realize he's gay. And then Marge is like, no, I think, look, Homer, he's gay. And he's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
He enjoys the company of men.
I'm gay and a lot of my family and friends are pretty homophobic. I know it's far too late for this to be noticed in the thread, but it just feels good to say it. He's number 41 now and he got gilded. Fabulous. What's the response here? Somebody responds.
Wait, no, I think the line was, he prefers the company of men.
Somebody responds, I just want to tell you that I'm lesbian. And my parents' extended family are very conservative Southern Baptists. Church 3 times a week and whatnot. I held off telling them for years, and when I did, it was rough for a while. But now, 7 years later, and it's like, hey, yeah. Sorry, it's like 7 years on, and they're coming to my wedding. People can change. Why do y'all want people at your wedding? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? This is about you and this other person, and you guys are like, you know what? I need everybody at my wedding. It's supposed to be my special day. Well, because a magazine told you so. Number 40, I had a baby.
What does lesbians sound like? Because I don't think that's what they sound like.
What?
I don't think that's what lesbians sound like.
Most lesbians sound just like normal girls, man. Kira Richards is a lesbian, and she looks like the exact type of typical chick you would see and just want to kiss. So,
Ooh.
What? What are you imagining? Like all lesbians are butch lesbians or something? And you know they're not. you know they're all not tomboying hard out. It must be so hard for like legit lesbians who just want like another pretty girl, but like a lot of the girls that maybe maybe
Are you saying?
are around them are actually like the super butch dude lesbians that if they had the chance they would probably try to become trans men, you know what I mean? When the actual lesbians just want another girl who's girly and a girl, but then they're trying so hard to be the pants wearer and the dude, and they're just like, yeah, I'm a dude. Unbelievable. Number 40, where are you letting me go? Stop derailing me. Look at me.
Okay.
Number 40.
I'm looking at you.
I had a baby with a sperm donated from a man who advertised on Craigslist.
Ugh.
What could go wrong? If my very religious family found out that it wasn't an accident, I would be completely stunned and disowned. Why would she have a baby with sperm donated from a man who advertised on Craigslist? So that guy came and bing-bonged out on inside her? Oh, man.
I think the implication is that she just gave him a tube.
You don't know that.
I want to believe.
You don't know that. She might have been inseminated by this dude. If my religious parents found out it wasn't an accident, I would be completely shunned and disowned. This has a lot of connotations and forces a lot of questions. It makes me wonder, did this woman just want a baby so bad that she wasn't going to go through all the hoops of the system? She was just like, hey, Craigslist, you guys want to, you like, I promise you I'm not going to try and get you with child support and all this shit. I just want a baby. Why some ladies baby crazy like that to where they're even going to lie about how the baby came to be, you know what I mean? But it was deliberate. She wanted to have this baby.
I would think that parents thinking that it's an accident still makes it pretty bad.
Yeah, we're not talking about the parents. We're talking about this woman, because this woman is scary to me, where she wasn't willing to, I guess, get a guy to enter into a union so that both parties would be able to, you know, have a less of a hard time raising this kid. This woman just wanted a kid so bad that she found some dude to to impregnate her. Dude,
Well,
look, shut up. You don't know because you're just a female, and as rude as that is to say, but I've known women who are baby crazy, and if any woman would go to that extent, you have to wonder what's going on upstairs. I've known women who wanted babies so bad, and some of those women, when I pressured them on why they wanted a kid, why they wanted it so early, why they didn't want to be more financially stable, why they particularly didn't want to wait for another party to ease the struggle and the burden of having that child, I would always hear specific things that were along the same lines. But one of the most alarming that I heard, to make a very long point a little more concise, is that they wanted something that was utterly dependent on them. Like a fucking pet would be, dude. A lot of chicks want a little doggy or a little kitty cat that's gonna think the world of them and be cuddling up on them and all kind of shit like this. But instead of doing that, they have a fucking kid. And when you're jumping on Craigslist to find a dude to knock you up, not because you're interested in him as a fucking man, you know, or like a partner, you know what I mean? It forces questions like this. This whole thing horrifies me, and we're only a sentence in. So let me continue. I am a female who is ugly. No, that's not the secret, but I am ugly because I have a facial deformity that I was born with. Oh no. I've never had a long-term partner and only had sex a few times in my life. My biological clock was ticking loudly, and I desperately wanted a child. There wasn't going to be enough time to meet someone.
I'm sorry.
And my odds were non-existent as a middle-aged ugly female. I own my own home, I have a career, but I didn't want to lose all my savings to pay to have it done through a clinic and sperm donation, like I was thinking. It would have been at least $15,000 per try. My chances for adopting were also almost non-existent, as any woman looking to adopt her baby out isn't going to pick the ugly middle-aged lady to adopt their baby. Plus it's crazy freaking expensive. I wanted the money I had in savings to put towards raising the child, so I turned to Craigslist and got it for free. My child is a preschooler, and now somebody said I posted about this years ago in more. No, she says I posted about this years ago in more detail. We want a picture
Of the preschooler?
of the lady if she's that ugly.
I don't think she's gonna put herself out there in that capacity.
If she's so ugly, what's she worried about?
Do you think the preschooler, well, no, I should say her kid was born with a deformity?
What?
Do you think the kid might have been, like, passed down with a deformity?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know.
I think she would have mentioned it. Or maybe not. Maybe this is supposed to be a feel-good post.
Somebody said, I regularly send pictures and updates to the generous man who and selfless man who trusted me on a handshake. I want to know if she binged his bong, or if he
I don't
just
think she did.
if she shiggled it in a tube. Dude, I think she said for free, Stripes. So I think she got his Jimmy wet.
So at most I think she gave him a hand job and made him come in a tube.
Number 39 is deleted. Nice try, Reddit. But the comment says, trust me when I say future you will be very glad that you didn't fuck up his life. Future you will be very glad. Right. So what I'm going to do, I don't need to advertise what I'm going to do. But what I'm going to do, let's see here. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Trust me. Okay, here it is. The post reads, I'm a flirt and was a huge slut before getting married. I've been faithful, but my attention-seeking and hypersexual ways were almost my undoing recently, as I flirted too hard with a co-worker's wife, and she has a crush on me. I'm a typical guy, and like the attention, I would also fantasize about her when I spanked it. When nothing was said, it was all just in my head, and there seemed to be a little risk. Recently, we would take little walks away from her spouse. We work in the same company, and she would always tell me he doesn't notice her or give her attention. She's been working out and getting in shape, so I would tell her how much progress she was making and drop little comments like, your husband is going to be lucky with a hot wife. It all took a turn when we were alone on an elevator, and she asked if the dress and heels she was wearing were cute. I told her she looked fucking hot. She told me that she was glad because she was dressing up and wearing cute things for me. We stepped into an empty conference room and spilled our guts that we had been fantasizing about each other. We froze and both knew we shouldn't cross another line. The energy was crazy. But fortunately, we had no privacy from being seen, just heard, so nothing happened. We walked out of the room and went on about our day. That evening, the realization that I had almost cheated on my spouse hit me like a ton of bricks. I knew I couldn't do that to my wife, who I could do love and respect. I also realized that my desire to seek attention from the opposite sex is probably going to ruin my life. If I don't get it under control, I've started realizing that I need to police my fantasies and probably look at less porn. Porn got nothing to do with a nigga. Shut the fuck up. You're trying to get us in trouble. I think I'm going to look into meditation too. I came into work the next day and the girl discreetly left me a letter. Thankfully, it was the same sentiment I felt. We were attracted to each other, but we were adults with commitments and lives, and it didn't want to hurt those we cared about. We would have to let it go for another life. We took one last little walk, and I told her I felt the same. Also, that I would be shredding her letter, and that we should never be alone together. She agreed. That's so great. Self-restraint. You know what I mean? There's so many people who, are not about monogamy. So, if that's who you are, make it so that you're with somebody who's all about that shit too. Because every guy can't resist the sliggly slomly of biggling the schlinglongs. You know what I mean?
Are you about monogamy? McNair me.
Almost didn't laugh at Stripes. Almost. Number 38. Okay, so my family are super religious, especially my mother. She wants me to be religious too, but I've become a bit disillusioned with religion. I know this would kill her, simply for the fact that she's a refugee and her reliance on a higher power has gotten her through all of the struggles and strife without even a lick of post-traumatic stress disorder. She's a single mother. Also, I just admire her so much getting to where she is without any help. I just don't think I'd ever have the heart to tell her that I haven't been praying 5 times a day or even thinking about God in any way. It would kill her. A response says, admitting you no longer believe in God is seriously tough. All my early life, I grew up worshiping a God who'd help me when I have any sort of problem. It doesn't work out. God has a different plan, and it was never meant to work out. It was such a solid support. Once you realize God doesn't exist, you lose the support. You don't have external help. You fuck up. You're the reason. It was scary, but it was so worth it. Hope you fight through all your problems. That's an interesting point, you know?
I don't like the wording of realize.
You fuck up, you're the reason. Interesting. Whereas otherwise, it's just not part of the plan, baby. You know what I'm talking about? It's not part of that plan. Divine plan. Number 7. This won't ruin me because I've already went no contact with my mom. But it still hurts and is a big secret I've not told anyone. When I was a kid, I had asthma pretty bad, so I'd be up all night coughing constantly. My mom and I lived with her parents. We shared a room, so I slept in her bed when I was a toddler. Mom would come home from work and lay down for bed, but I'd keep her awake with my coughing sometimes at night, and I'd be coughing, and she would hug me so tight that I couldn't breathe. It would really distress me that I couldn't breathe, but I knew Mom loved me so much, and I didn't want to tell her she was literally squeezing me to death because I was afraid of hurting her feelings. So I'd just tell her that I loved her so much, and she would cry pretty hard after that. Took me years after having my own kid and treating him gently to figure out that I'm actually pretty difficult to squeeze. It's actually pretty difficult to squeeze a kid so hard that they can't breathe. Mom is bipolar and has had other incidents of hurting people and abandoning those in her care that need medication and couldn't take care of themselves. So I finally put it together and figured it out, but Mom would be so agitated with my asthma that she would try to stop me from coughing by squeezing me almost to death. And then she would cry of the guilt when I told her that I loved her. That bitch.
Oh? She tried to kill him.
Wouldn't be the first time out of most parents. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know a life like that. I can't imagine.
Well, consider yourself lucky. Number 36. This will probably get buried. Woo, did I accidentally downvote that? I'm sorry, dude. This will probably get buried, but I feel like it needs to be shared. Though I'm not sure how much it'll ruin my life, it will probably shake up some family dynamics that are already on very rocky ground. Anyway, I'm a male, and it's the first time I was anally...
Ugh.
Damn. Anyway, I'm male, and the first time I was anally raped by an older cousin, I was 6 years old. I don't remember much, but I remember the pain, and I remember being gagged to keep from screaming because it hurt so bad. I didn't see this cousin again for quite some time after that. No one knew what had happened, but my dad got stationed in Germany, and we relocated that way. When I was 10, they came to visit us in Germany. Nothing anal happened, but I was still molested pretty aggressively. Then they left, and life went on. Then fuck. Typing this is harder than I thought it would be. But anyway, when we left Germany, my dad was stationed in Texas, and of course we lived near the cousin and my aunt. Not close enough to visit every weekend, but close enough to where we could visit relatively regularly. And of course, the boys would always sleep in the same room. And the same sort of abuse occurred night after night. And if you're a male being sexually abused, it's hard to come to terms with, especially when you're a teen, because you think, well, it's not like I didn't get off.
Oof.
But these are boys, right? It's insidious on so many levels. Ugh. I. Ugh. Now, as you can imagine, this cousin is a pretty shitty person all in all. He's in his 40s now and still has the mind of a teenager. He failed the ASVAB 3 times and wasn't able to join any branch of the military. If you ever talk to him, whoa boy, he'll tell you that he has all these great things just right around the corner for him. He's literally not smart enough to be sad about his station in life. He should be in jail, in my opinion, but here he is, 42 years old, about to land a $10 an hour job and move in with his 19-year-old girlfriend. And isn't life great? I know all of this because I've never told anyone, and I was guilted into friending him on Facebook. To further complicate things, I have a younger sister who always has to be the center of attention, hardcore drama queen through and through. Right about that time where I felt like I should tell my family. I've withheld telling them because I don't want to get a, "oh well, that's why you're gay" response. Sorry for reading that like that. Stripes, hit him with a little bit of the bing bong. I gotta wet my palate here.
How am I supposed to follow up a kid getting molested by his cousin Kyle?
Waka waka.
You're terrible.
Well, he's kept it from his parents because his younger sister liked to be the center of attention, apparently. You know, whatever you got to do to justify it, you know what I mean? Especially when you saying shit like, "oh, that's what," well, it's not like I didn't get off. You know what I'm talking about? What? This isn't funny. Child molestation is not funny, man. I don't want to get a, "oh, well, that's why you're gay" response, but she comes out and starts to tell the family about the same cousin molesting her. She claims he forcibly kissed and groped her. She did this right as soon as my parents decided to get divorced, and now she has post-traumatic disorder stress, you idiot. He put PTDS. And all of this other shit. What? Is that another thing? Let's Google it, because I don't think it's another thing.
I figured that he's just not a native English speaker.
No. Persistent threat detection system. What is she? Is she a car? And now she has the persistent threat detection system. All of this shit. And now I'm weird.
You got to turn into a car, Morty.
Come on, Morty. You gotta turn into a car, Morty. That's such a great line. Like when you're just like, and he doesn't know whether you're serious or not. That's the worst part about Rick, is that he can just really take Morty for a ride, because Morty can't know what's real or not. You know what I mean? Up is down. Oh man. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, this is a really dark story, you know? And in case people weren't around during the initial confession podcast, I used to roast some females for not reporting some of their rapists. You know what I mean? Like women have a bad rap because a lot of them are fucking liars. You know what I mean? They'll know that they'll say one thing and it's not the way that it is. They'll say one thing that they don't mean, but that's the way that they feel in the moment. They'll deny things later and they'll lie, you know, and the law will take their side a lot of the times. So when it comes to shit that actually happens to you, you're totally right to not want to immediately speak up, because not only will some people not believe you, but like if you don't have no damn proof, sister, you know what I'm talking about? You gonna be in a situation. Not that every time women need proof, but like, come on. Because so many other women habitually lie just for the attention, they put you, who have actually gone through something really crazy, in a serious position. But you have to take the effort to make moves on this person who has abused you. And one of the things that a lot of the women in the past would say to me is like, oh, well, I just reach a point where I don't care about myself and whatever, as long as I can be a object or a tool that gives somebody some kind of pleasure or satisfaction. You know what I mean? Wow. You know what I mean? If that's how little you think of yourself, cool. But would you want to make another female feel the way that you have? Maybe this girl has dreams and hopes and ambitions and wants to do something, and then this other fuck could come into her life, and because he got away with it with you, he's confident and empowered and is going to do that same thing to that person. And had you just stepped up and made it so that this dude couldn't get away with this crap that he did with you, maybe it wouldn't have happened to another person. Would you do something about it then? You need to always be operating under the assumption that you're stopping somebody that will most likely do this again to somebody else, you know, because that's the way that it works. Think about some people taking drugs. They take drugs, they get that high, and that high starts to wear off. They need a harder drug. Do you know what I mean? They need to do something crazier. Some people steal, some people kill, some people, you know what I'm talking about? Like, they will not stop until they are stopped. So you need to be that obstacle until maybe all of the times that they've tripped make it so that they can't run. Or maybe they can't even walk. Maybe they're freaking bedridden. Fight back. You get what I'm saying? Fight back. And in this scenario, it's particularly sad because this little boy was getting fucked and he kept making excuses as to why it must be okay, or I'm not going to tell anybody because blah 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 blah. But here it is, your sister was getting fucked the whole time too, because you didn't say nothing about this nigga. And that's the way that it goes, guys. Pretty sad. But she comes out and just starts telling the whole family about the same cousin molesting her. She claims that he forcibly kissed and groped her, and that she did this right as soon as my parents decided to get divorced. And now she has the PTSD, and I'm stuck sitting on this because my mom is already on the verge of suicide because of the divorce. I don't disbelieve my sister's story, and I do have sympathy, of course. Just the timing was fucked up. But if anyone ever knew all of the shit he forced on me, it would make you sick. My hands are trembling and I'm literally crying as I'm typing this. I guess I still have quite a few unresolved issues, eh? We've all been through shit as a child, but like, how you react, how you bounce back from this shit defines who you are. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that nobody should have feelings and have a trauma affect them in any way, but holy fucking schnitzel. You know what I'm talking about?
He said that his mom's suicidal now because of the divorce, so I'm guessing this is
I understand this is like him trying to ease the weight of whatever burden could hit this chick, dude. But I feel he's upset and sad for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? You could have stopped this that happened to your sister.
All I'm saying is that I think he's still a kid. Like right now he's probably around 16.
Yeah, this thing screwed him up in a way where he probably didn't develop properly at all, and I feel terrible, but we need to get out of here. Number 35. I was a short-lived prostitute. Only did it a few times. No pimp selling me. I was doing it myself on Tinder and Plenty of Fish before stopping. Well, at least you made it out of there alive. A lot of these chicks end up in situations where they are gang raped or, you know, robbed, etc. That's why women have pimps. It's for protection.
If you're a serial Tinder murderer, what do you think your handle would be? Like, what would the news tabloids call you?
They would call me Stripes made me kill. Because that would be my handle. Stripes made me kill.
Mm-hmm. The Stripe Strangler?
Nah.
No, you don't like it?
Because you're only the first death, Stripes. You're the person who I kill first. You know, when you hit the floor, I'm not satisfied because like the rage that you've poured into me is still like coursing through my veins. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta find other people who are like you and make them feel the pain. Number 34 here.
There's someone else like me.
Oh wow, okay, God. She's a drag queen now. Number 34. When I was around 7 to 8, my mother used to see a guy who would beat her just about every chance that he would get. It wasn't anything for her to come grab me and my sister in the middle of the night, and we'd run away for days. Finally, one day I'd had enough of it. It started like it always does, and he'd start laying into her. When he did, I jumped on his back and started hitting him as hard as an 8-year-old could. Hit a grown man. He threw me off of him and onto the kitchen table. Use tools, kids. You know, you got knives in the house. Come on now. I tried him again. And this time he threw me into the refrigerator. That's got to be near like, you know, a dishwasher or something. You know, just get a knife out of there. Just get a knife out of there. Held me by my throat and took my mother's beating for her. Oh, aren't you a little trooper? All I remember was seeing his fist, then waking up and seeing it again. Something happened, and I started to come to. I was in the front seat of her car with my sister in the back and was driving fast. I'm guessing running from him. Anyway, she lost control of the car and we flipped into the ditch. I drug myself out for some reason and my shoulder and arm hurt so bad I could hardly move it. But I managed to pull my sister out and then proceed to collapse. I woke up in the hospital. Nobody was there. Nobody visited. I was alone. After about a month's stay, I was moved to a place called Helping Hands, where I was reunited with my sister. We stayed there for roughly 2 months until one day my mother showed up. She was in prison. Oh, good. So she killed the man. Because no mother should stand for, you know, I mean, if she want to take some punches for some dumbass nigga, that's cool. But when the nigga start beating up the kid, then the mom should have intervened and killed this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are your kids that you're dealing with. And if anybody's going to be killing my kids, it's going to be me. You know what I'm saying? But if this dude comes out of nowhere and he's like whooping on your kids, I hope she killed him. Let's continue. What do you mean?
Why would she ever?
Why would she be in prison, stupid? Connect 2 and 2. She was in prison. She took us home after a few weeks of supervised visits. Shut up. Shut up. When I got home, I immediately moved out to my dad's house, 3 states away. I was forced to grow up fast, never had a childhood. The days I wasn't watching his boxing matches in the kitchen, I had to basically take care of me and my sister by doing the cooking and making sure that we got what little school that we could. My mother made poor choices with relationships and drugs and alcohol, and in the result, I lost the better part of 10 years of my life. When I moved in with my dad, I remember him crying to my aunts because of me. I hoarded everything I found, wouldn't wear shoes, didn't take being scolded well, slept in my closet. Nigga, this is all about you, isn't it? What happened to your mom and why is she in prison? Was it drugs? I woke up in the hospital, nobody was there, nobody visited. You know what I mean? The way that it's worded, when he was in the car, he was like running, I guess. I'm guessing running from him. Where's what happened to the mom and why is she in prison? Was it just drugs? Did she kill the guy?
It was probably just reckless driving that got her in jail.
What the fuck? He stuck with me. What? I hoarded everything I found, whatever. I'm sorry. When I moved in with my dad, I remember him crying to my aunts because of me. I hoarded everything I found, wouldn't wear shoes, didn't take being scolded well, slept in my closet, and really slept until I passed out from lack of it. And never really slept. Okay, I'm sorry. Jesus. But still have problems to this day. Health and mental. A 33-year-old man shouldn't have to sound out words when he reads. Poor guy. I've only told my wife about this and obviously my dad. I've worked hard and now have a good career with the capital city. You know, what did your mom do and why is she in prison?
I honestly want to hear more about this sister that was also through this abuse, but that's just me.
Why would your mother be in prison for someone else beating her? I'm confused. The story I shared was exit from a life with her. What the fuck?
Oh?
What the fuck? That's what I'm asking. Why would your mother be in prison for someone else beating her? I'm confused. He responds, the story I shared was my exit from a life with her. There's days of writing that could have, at the time, put her away from the years leading up to it. Child endangerment, neglect, drugs, abandonment. I'm sorry for confusing you. I have a hard time putting things together correctly in a way that makes sense at times. My apologies. You can say that again, Mr. Garrison. Freaking, it's not his fault because he was beaten in the freaking head as a child. You know what I'm talking about? But fuck me.
So the mom was just as bad, basically.
Well, the mom apparently, got hit with charges of neglect, endangerment, and drugs, like I assumed. I assumed if she was going to jail and it wasn't for killing this dude that laid hands on her own kids, you know what I mean? It was definitely for drugs. Because if you letting some nigga knock you around, then please God, let there be drugs involved with your dumb ass. Number 33, that really made me upset. But again, it's from a guy who literally got beat to hell up when he was a little kid. So there goes the brain, That's not okay. That's not okay. Ugh. Number 33. I still have repressed memories from this moment. So I was a normal kid living in the suburbs. I made friends with another kid down the street who was around 1 year older than me. There's lots of pictures of us together when we were around 4. Anyway, we had 3 siblings. 1 brother and 2 sisters. 1 sister is now a real estate agent. The other is a psychologist, but the brother, the oldest, was a stay-at-home deadbeat. This is when it started getting weird. This all better be relevant as fuck. The brother was thick as bricks and didn't clear his history on the family computer. Ooh, this may get good. I was around 78 at the time when my 9-year-old friend said, "Let's explore," and clicked the search that said, porn. I didn't know at the time what I was looking at. The closest I saw was watching MTV music videos. I didn't understand about the naked ladies or the actual physical sex. Anyway, afterwards, we went into his bedroom to play a game. He called it Tsunami. Okay. Where there would be a tsunami coming, and we had to hide. We did this by going under the sheets. After this, he pulled his pants down and told me I had to save the human race and had to suck his penis. I believed him with my innocent 8-year-old mind. Then we did it again, and he sucked my penis. And again, and he shoved his flaccid penis inside me. Man, using the word penis really takes these stories to cringe town. I didn't even know what was happening. If this was really sex, I also had to do that to him as well. I left his house that day, not really knowing what had happened. I never told my parents, friends, or anyone. After that, I stopped visiting his house, and he moved out with his mom after I started high school. To this day, I have a porn addiction, which I think is connected to what I saw, with no real way to stop it. I also have a little bit of trouble talking to girls as well. I'm still trying to realize what affected my brain. I identify as a heterosexual male. I've never heard from him in years, although I still sometimes see his dad, still living in the same house down the street. Number 30. Hold on. So OP is saying, see a therapist. Oh my God. Somebody said that the guy was probably sexually abused. I mean, who cares? When you're old enough to know not to do that to other people, you're old enough for consequences. Number 32. Last year, my mom died. She was remarried, and they never had kids together. I'm married, living in another state, and have 1 brother. My stepfather told me this only regret in life was never having children of his own. He approached me twice a couple weeks after mom passed and said that he would pay me money to have his kid. On the second attempt, I told him never to ask me again. This has been bothering me ever since, and I've often wished he was dead in place of my mother. He's threatened me with his gun as well. Every conversation we have alone, he always has to remark about how pretty I am. I have yet to tell anyone this, and I'm banking on no one reading this. That's really fucked up. Yo, I'm really sorry. Wow. How many times somebody has to threaten you with a gun before you tell somebody? Weird. You know what I mean? Oh, man. In this day and age, with all the NSA spy monkeys. Just get this nigga on tape saying that shit. Especially if you're a woman. Oh my God. You know? You just organize a sting operation with your niggas, you know? Get people on a phone call, on a Skype call, and then record the Skype call and be all like, you know, I was thinking about that thing that you suggested. And then get him to say it all, you know what I mean? And if he doesn't want to say it all, just be like, yeah, you know, I was thinking I would do it. And then when he admits to it, you go further and you're all like, I just didn't like being threatened with the gun. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have threatened me with that gun. And then, why she's Southern in my thing. Anyway, number 31. About 18 months ago, I was watching the movie Yes Man. Not familiar with it. And decided... Huh? What?
It's a Jim Carrey movie. You would have hated it.
Sounds a lot like a Liar Liar.
No, not really.
Jim Carrey is stuck in a rut with his negative ways. Then he goes to a self-help seminar and learns to unleash the power of yes. Living in the affirmative. I don't care.
All I remember is that he got his dick sucked by an old lady with no teeth.
And then she looked at the camera and said, bing bong, this summer. I'm like, oh, come on. Let's... Okay. Oh boy. About 18 months ago, I was watching the movie Yes Man and decided I'd say yes to everything for about 24 hours. I ended up taking an ecstasy pill in the city, and this woman said, let's go do drugs. And I ended up buying and trying meth. I'm sorry. I wish you could see the look that I just gave the computer screen. It was in a crack house.
How did he get into a crack house?
I'm sorry. Okay. It was in a crack house that was legitimately 10 meters across the road from the police station in the city's worst suburb. I then went to the casino and blew $1,000. Let's just say that watching Yes Man is a good way of getting yourself out of a rut.
Well, as long
I
as
don't think watching a movie is going to have the same impact on everybody. You know what I mean? I'm going to do what happened in this movie. You know what I mean? Then every form of media is as bad as like a 90s parent would believe it is. You know what I'm talking about? That is of the devil? You listening to that Marilyn Manson? Oh God, you know that rock music is evil, and if you play it backwards, there it is, listen to that. What does it say right there? It says, kill Jesus. Number 30, man. I guess. The last thread that I liked started 5 years ago today. So, I am 19. I am gay. My parents are very conservative Catholics and would disown me if they found out. Not only that, I have had oral and penetrative sex with several men. Most of my town are Orthodox Christians and would ruin my life if my secret ever got out. The issue is, my voice is changing. And now I sound like a gay person. And I can't stop it. That's my gay guy, I'm sorry. Hope this gets buried. Why do people write things and then hope it gets buried?
Maybe it's reverse psychology. They actually do want their secrets to rise to the top.
Yeah, they're just trying to get that sweet karma on a throwaway account.
It's a spite of both. But, like, do you just be... Because I knew a kid in elementary school who sounded gay, and he turned out to be gay in going into high school. So, do you just develop this lisp or what?
Number 30? No, 29.
Wait, can you share screens with me? Because you haven't been this whole time.
My oldest son committed suicide in 2015. He shot himself in the head.
Thanks. Thank you.
I can't believe you made me laugh at that when I'm laughing at you. Number 29. My oldest son committed suicide in 2015. He shot himself in the head. That sounds pretty messy. You know what I mean? Every day I talk myself out of putting myself in dangerous situations where I could possibly be killed or hurt because I miss him so badly and want to be with him. Oh, you're guaranteed that you're going to find a way to be with your son that killed himself? So what manner of afterlife are you believing in? Because what I heard is that in one of them popular religions, you know what I'm talking about? If you kill yourself, you go to hell. You know what I'm talking about? Welcome to hell. You think you're going to
So
be...
they'll both be in hell, if that's what she said. Oh.
What, enjoying it? Like enjoying the party down in hell?
It's a beach party, if you didn't know.
They just jam pack your ass full of boiling hot coal, and it's just searing off the flesh, and the flesh is dripping around your ankles like hot wax that's stinging your ankles. But somehow there's just more ass flesh to be seared off by them boiling hot coals.
I'd like to think that hell is actually just one big game of Monopoly.
Instead of go directly to jail, it's go directly to hell. And then number 28. Most people are under the impression that I do very well when it comes to talking to women. But not only have I not had actual sex in months, but the last time I did have sex, I was raped. Oh. Wow. I was out of town and I was stumbling home from a bar. I was so drunk that I couldn't find my hotel, so I decided to hitchhike. A guy picked me up and took advantage of me. I was so drunk that I only remember bits and pieces. I can't remember his face either. Well, you're a dumb hoe if you're drunk and you're hitchhiking, you know what I mean? Get a phone, an Uber, you know, like any normal person.
You might get Uber raped too, though.
Better for you to get raped on Uber, because at least that shit is very well chronicled in your corny ass phone, you know what I mean? That driver is like accountable in your phone. So if you get Uber raped, Uber's got it taped. Okay, that's the motto of Uber. Don't get Uber raped, but if you do, we got it taped. Uber, gonna bury Lyft.
Are you eligible to drive for Uber, by the way?
Isn't everybody?
No, not everybody.
Uber's gotta have like the highest turnover rate when people realize that this is bullshit. What?
All I'm saying is that recently they put it into effect that people with criminal history can't drive for them.
Oh man, okay, sure, yeah, I'm a criminal because I killed all those pedophiles, and I'd kill them again. You understand me? Number 27.
Wait, no, that's not.
My stepbrother repeatedly molested and raped me from ages 11 to 16. I got pregnant, and it was definitely his because I was a virgin otherwise. Wow. When I told him, he took me into the woods for a week to talk, for a walk, to talk, he said, and then shoved me down a very steep rocky hill that had tree trunks and roots poking out everywhere. He raced to the bottom before I could even consider trying to get up and bashed my stomach with a rock. Then he left me literally dying at the bottom of the hill where no one would have walked down, bleeding from a slice across my scalp that required 187 staples to close. My stomach was split open and ribs and bones broke. And of course, the baby didn't survive. There was blood everywhere, and I was in and out of reality. I thought I was climbing to heaven when I was delusional, but couldn't move when I became remotely conscious. It turns out that when I thought I was climbing to heaven, I was climbing my way up the hill. I made it to a neighbor, and he rushed me to the ER. I stayed in the ICU for 6 months. When I was able to walk, my brother was in the room constantly, so I lied. I said I was getting chased by a dog and lost my footing and fell, and that as I stumbled up a fell of rocks and trunks, I fell on rocks and trunks and okay, so that's my story. This account will now probably be deleted. And this bitch didn't out him. Ladies, I'ma say it like this. If you live in what'd you say, Stripes?
I'm really impressed she lived through that, like that she could get up and find a neighbor.
Shut up. There's only one response to this, and if you don't feel like this hoe is fucking stupid for not trying to get this dude done, who pushed her ass down a steep incline where she could have lost her life, needed 187 stitches, had a rock dropped on her stomach and killed a baby that she was raped into carrying. Do you get what I'm saying? It's one thing if like you glad to be rid of the baby because you were raped by a dude and now you're pregnant by that dude. Do you get what I'm saying? But when they've made an attempt on your life and you don't fight back to try to get this dude done for what he did to you, you're a dumb hoe and you essentially deserve what happened to you. Is that rude to say? I don't give a fuck. If you're not going to stand up for yourself, then you don't matter. You don't matter, you know? And if you don't respect yourself, how can anybody else? You get what I'm saying? So when people push you and you don't push back, you see what I'm saying? That's a problem. Because it's one thing to just be outwardly hostile and crazy and get nuts, you know what I'm saying? Then you're a dumb bitch and you need to calm the fuck down. But when you're you're defending yourself, that's a completely different thing, okay? And the fact that I didn't see no icing on the cake where, oh, he was in the room, so I lied to him, but after that we got his ass, you know what I'm talking about? That's a problem. With all the women in the world that have so much power that they can just say something, whether or not it's true or not, and have the law swoop in and come to their rescue, you know what I mean? For women that actually have things go down that aren't lying, to not say anything against these attackers, they're enabling these people to go out and be monsters in the future, to have monsters as children and raise them in their monstrous ways to be even more terrible. And the world becomes that much more dim and dark a place. Do you get what I'm saying? Shine a light on these assholes, man. If you don't have a backbone or you're non-confrontational, record these motherfuckers. Put a camera on these people. Release this shit so everybody can see them for who they are, because this isn't a world that anybody can live in. And everybody want to get on a high horse and talk about how Trump's the reason that the country's being ruined and all of this bullshit. You know what I mean? You're a person. You're part of the people. The people make up this world. And until you make the conscious decision to have a positive impact on the rest of the world, it's gonna be as shitty as it is for the rest of your fucking life. You know what I mean? So if we gotta make a cult right now and go live on an island where we can establish a utopia that maybe they bomb us for because we got it too good and they don't like what we established, and you see what I'm saying? Let's go do it, because I don't want to have anything to do with these people. I'm literally rapping like, come on, man. How you not got this dude tried to kill you. And I didn't read anywhere that I was in fear for my life from him, so I didn't say anything. She just didn't get this dude done. Who gilded this? You're glad she's alive, Stripes. Is that the proper reaction? You're not mad about this?
Of course I am. I didn't say what she did was right. And of course she's wrong. She's in the wrong for not doing anything about him. It's just like, I was just under the impression that she'd be... how do you make it out of that after being delusional and finding someone like it? I'm sorry if you thought...
That's the final line of the story. So I lied and said I was getting chased by a dog and lost my footing and fell. The end. I was raped by my stepbrother and carried his baby, and he told me, hey, let's go on a walk. And then he pushed me down the incline, and I bust my head open, was bleeding from it, and he dropped a rock on my stomach after rushing down to where I'd fallen down. And then I lied about it to protect him. Teehee. I still give him blowjobs every other weekend. You know what I mean? Kill yourself. Kill yourself.
Just don't put words in my mouth. I never
No. I'm not mad at you about this. Calm down. I'm just saying, this is the world we live in, okay? These are the basic bitches that are out running the world. This is why people are so confident. This is why people will feel they can get away with anything, because they like Superman. You know what I'm talking about? They're like Supermen. And I don't want anything to do with it. Because the worst part is, Stripes, you couldn't be in a room with 10 people and not have like 3 of them low-key be like this. Not just like the female, but like the monsters, like the dudes. Do you get what I'm saying? That would take any advantage over somebody that they knew they could get away with something on. Like, rules don't mean anything to some people. Laws don't mean anything to some people. They will do what they believe they can get away with. And if they if you held a fucking $50 bill up in the air and they thought that they could remove that from your hands and that you wouldn't do anything about it, of course they would. Who gives a fuck? They don't. The only thing that's controlling whether or not they act right or not is whether or not they're going to be put on blast for it, or if everybody's going to see it, or maybe somebody is there that's going to stop it. If nothing's going to stop it, it's going to happen. So forgive me for getting riled up, man, because a lot of us are paying for shit that like we didn't do. You see me? And that's the brutal part here. Number 26, 3 years ago, I attended a local community college while living with my parents, or so they thought. In reality, I hit a moment in my life where I realized I didn't want to go to college anymore after having been forced to leave NC State due to money falling through. I sat at home, slept all day, played with my computer with my friends all hours of the night. When my parents actually did stay home for the day instead of working, I'd go to school, which was really me finding a shady parking lot to sleep in my car all day. Yes, it was massively uncomfortable since my area gets really hot in the summer and really cold in the winter. One time, I even had to walk 3 miles in the snow and cold and wind because I had to have my mother drop me off at school. I then hid in the backseat of my car inside the sleeping bag I put in beforehand. I couldn't stretch my legs at all, so it was super uncomfortable. Was this all it's about, dude? This is like some kind of autism post where you're going into details that don't really matter. He leaves an edit where he's answering questions. How did you lie your ass through graduation? I missed a credit and couldn't graduate. I finished the credit during the summer, and since the college doesn't have summer graduation ceremonies, they mailed me the diploma. That was really one I had made. Brilliant. Because parents are pretty stupid in this scenario, apparently. So he just, I don't know, what is that? He made one? That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Ow. But what's all this shit with the sleeping bag, like, and his levels of comfort? That's what really tripped me out. I wonder if anybody's leaving, like, any high-tier comments on these. He could have been running some kind of crack house, Stripes. You know what I mean? You don't like the idea of a crack house, do you? Stripes?
What?
I finally got you to where I need you to be. I'm kidding. Number 25. I joined
Subservient, you mean?
Don't believe Stripes' lies. Number 25. I joined a job that is known for being absolutely miserable and a good chance of getting me killed. I love it. I was a suicidal teenager and I gave up, knowing I couldn't kill myself. Now, I have a good chance of dying without me having to do anything. And to add to the goods, my family would get a whole lot of life insurance money if I got killed. So I could do them a lot of good by becoming a corpse. This is what I want of the members of the Kyle cult. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not asking you to kill yourself. I'm not asking you to kill people. # killing in the name of Kyle.
Wait, okay,
I'm just saying, if you're gonna end your life, mate, take out an insurance policy and give me all the money. I'm kidding. What did I say earlier where you were just like, right away, sire? Some bullshit like that.
Something about finding you a folding chair on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I wanted you to Google folding chairs on Amazon. God, we got to get through this.
Do you want them to donate their corpses to you, too?
What would I do with a corpse?
To further science, you know? You need to, like, research into your cult, too. Just contribute.
I feel like if we could establish the cult in a way where we had a compound and we could have like meetings where we would have you on the floor, I wonder if like I could get everybody to join me in silence when you say something and it's just like, you know, like groan worthy.
They have to ostracize me and just shun me when I'm being dumb.
Well, I don't know if that silence would make it so that you put in a little more effort into the shit that you say.
The only thing that would ever upset me is that if you put people between you and I, like I don't know, a wall of people that I couldn't get through.
The perfect analogy would be this. Sometimes when you say things in the stream, I go, oh, wow, that's really funny and kind of witty. But when you speak in these lists, it's normally the type of thing that Randy would say in the stream and make Faith or, you know, Hannah go, okay, this person's getting timed out. Because you don't get to come in here and be unfunny. You get what I'm saying? Is that rude?
It's very rude and it makes me feel bad.
No, it doesn't. Don't believe Stripes' lies. Number 24. When I was really young, 9 to 13, I went on Omegle and dual masturbated with another guy who could have been anywhere from in his late 40s to early 60s. I am a guy and I am straight. What? No, you're not. No, you're not, dude. I've never vigorously shaken my head anymore, like any harder than that. After it was over, I stupidly told him that I was not 18, and he said, I know. Oh my God. Somebody said it's mostly laughable, the idea that a 9-year-old thought he could pass for 18. Oh my freaking bing bong. So here's number 23. Okay. I secretly had a relapse, more like a slip, several months ago, after being clean from meth and heroin for over a year. It lasted one day, and I think helped me stay clean afterwards. But my family and friends found out. It would undo years of hard-earned trust and progress with them. I had moved out of my apartment and tried to get clean once and for all. My drug had always been heroin, but meth and benzos were also a bit of a hobby of mine. So as my dad and I are packing up my place to move back in with him and my mom, things are just being thrown into random boxes, stuffed into bags, anything we can do to get the task done and quick. I should add that I had a ton of little hiding places for my drugs in place, and as drugs users do, sometimes I forgot where I put my stash. Fast forward a few months, I'd been clean for about a year, the longest I'd ever been. Got my own place again, etc. when I'm rummaging through old boxes of things that I'd hastily thrown together when moving. Lo and behold, I spotted a small cup that McDonald's had at one point given away in Happy Meals. You okay, Shribs?
Yeah.
Why?
Why what?
Why aren't you okay?
I didn't say I was not okay.
But you're not, so tell me why.
Because now you made me feel like I'm not contributing.
Oh my God, you are. Stop overthinking things.
Then why do you say stuff like that?
Because I'm taking the piss out of you.
I don't like it.
I felt the cup like a rock in my lungs. I knew what I would find inside before that sickly sweet smell wafted over me. Bad decision number one. Instead of walking the whole thing straight to the dumpster, I looked, I smelled. I felt and knew that day was the day. I'll spare you the details of what goes on next, but it involves smoking meth out of tinfoil and a whole heaping ton of regret. Ugh. But this guy got over it, so you gotta be proud of him. I guess it is a secret, though. What the bing bong? This whole thread has been removed. Pretty sneaky, sis. Fucking bing bong. We'll never know what this was. We'll never know what 23 was. Let's see. Give me a second, okay?
Okay.
What? Give me a second. Okay. So this one says I am in serious debt and I secretly had a relapse. This one says I secretly had a relapse, 23, and then I am secretly in debt is 21. So another one says my wife and I have pretty kinky sex. This one says I've been in a strictly sexual relationship. This one says throwaway time. So if I go back and I search around this area.
Are you gonna count how many upvotes they have? Like,
No. Okay, hold on. It was deleted at that time too. Fuck. Ugh. Fuck. They got me good. They got me good. Well, number 19 then. Okay. No, number 20. Okay. My wife and I have pretty kinky sex life. If the pictures we have taken playing our roles plays would... No, if the... What? If the pictures we have taken playing our role plays would become public, we would have to leave our jobs, at least work for the same company, but far away where no one would know us. Psh, can't be that bad.
Maybe it's like, do you know what horseplay is?
No.
It's like you dress up like a leather horse and you get women in heels to ride you.
That's so silly and innocent. That's so silly and innocent, and unless, like, to be honest, no. Listen. It's so silly and innocent that, and straight ridiculous, that pictures of that could leak and be construed as a joke. Do you understand?
Okay, but they're like get masked though.
Huh?
And you get a saddle and everything.
Yes, it would be construed as a joke. That sounds like the thing that sounds like a thing that two people with a sense of humor might do for a Christmas card. Do you get what I'm saying? It'd have to be outside of the box. Dress me up in leather and ride me. And let's, Merry Christmas. Do you get what I'm saying? This is the type of thing where unless it's straight up everybody's naked, people are getting pissed on, you know what I'm talking about? It can't be the type of thing that would ruin a life. And that's what this list is all about. So, what's a secret that would ruin a life?
Do you think they sell those on Amazon?
Number 19. I've been in a... Number 19. I've been in a strictly sexual relationship with a first cousin for the last 5 years. We only ever saw each other once or twice a year growing up before she moved to the other side of the country, and then never really saw or interacted with each other again until 5 years ago when she moved back. What started as us meeting up once in a while became a regular thing in the last few months. It's escalated to the point where we're now sexting each other. I'm scared to death of what might happen if anyone in our family finds out about this, but I don't want to stop what's happening either. Here's the story of a lovely lady. It all started out very slow before it escalated into full-on sex. I was informed by another cousin of ours and asked to help her move since I was free at the time. We started hanging out throughout the summer, and then one afternoon we had brunch, and then we went back to chill at her apartment. It was super hot day, so we thought, let's go indoors and relax and watch some TV or a movie. I can't remember what we were watching, but we were chatting the whole time too, just talking about our relatives, what we were looking to do with our lives and careers. After a while, she just kind of leaned on me and got comfortable, and I threw my arm around her almost instinctively, and we were just hanging out like that for a bit. Eventually, she gave me a lingering look that was kind of asking, "What's happening here?" And we both went in for a kiss. Oh my God. We were both shocked that it happened, but we got over it fast and started making out and running our hands all over each other until my hand was up her skirt, touching her through her panties. And then I realized what we were doing and stopped it from going any further. We both came to our senses and stopped, oh my God, and stopped before we go any further. We decided to forget it happened and moved past it, but every time we met up after that, we'd make out and push our boundaries until we eventually ended up having sex. Wow. We completely stopped when each of us had a significant other, but would start hooking up again every so often when we were single. As mentioned before, now it's become a regular occurrence where we hook up multiple times a week, and we've been sexting with each other now.
Ew.
Oh my God.
Well, it's no broken arms.
Dude.
What?
This is the one. This is the cum box of this list. How is it only number 19? Let's go. Rapid fire. Number 18. I'm roughly 5 years into a relationship and still have no idea if I want to marry the girl. Then you don't. I answered it for you. Number 17. This is going to be getting buried. I am depressed and suicidal. Join the club. Last summer I tried to kill myself. Tried. I put the gun in my mouth and it jammed. The only thing that stopped me was my cat happened to walk into the closet where I was. If anyone in real life saw this, they would treat me like I'm a landmine about to explode. Somebody said you should probably see somebody about that. Oh my God. Number 16, got super drunk once and my gay friend stayed over. We went to bed and as we were chatting, his hand started moving and I didn't stop him. He ended up sucking my dick and I won't lie, it was good. Nigga, you gay, nigga. I'm gay. Jesus Christ. What the fuck are you talking about? The thing is, as hard as it is to believe, I'm very straight. Also, our families are really close. What?
Ew. Did anyone ever have a thing for you in prison, Kyle?
Nope. It wasn't that kind of experience. We had literally the straightest dudes in the tank you can imagine. And that's what it was. It was a giant cage. Very similar to that of what you would keep animals in at a zoo. You don't need to go into that. Oh boy. Somebody in the responses says sexual contact with the same sex doesn't magically make you gay. And I'm sure some people in the comments are like, he ain't the one sucking, Kyle. That ain't gay. It's gay, dude. It's not a bro job. He didn't say no homo when he was done. You know, this is gay. Gay. Number 15. I was debating posting until I saw the biggest throws post. So we'll see what that is later. Very similar, only it was me and my older brother. Not worried about a throwaway as this is my fuck it account anyways. Long story, I was maybe 9 or 10, him 14 I believe. He tricked me into play wrestling, then end up on top, then promise me my favorite snack if I take it just right. This only went on for 2 years. Only 2 years. That's the gist of it. This may sound stupid, but I never thought much of it until recently. I'm 29, since it was the only time he did anything remotely homosexual, at least to me. This is literally my first time sharing this with anyone ever. I'm not shaken up about it, as I probably should be, considering the certain porn addiction. What is with all these men saying addiction after porn? Nigga, if you want to get off and get to business, do that. You know what I mean? But people going, oh, I'm a monster, I've got an addiction, you faggot. Fucking homos, you like taking up the butt. What's wrong with you? Kyle, you're so bad. Number 14. So I don't really know. Wait, we should be looking out for this other guy, the biggest throws story, because apparently that's the hachi machi story.
What do you mean? It's just more gay sex.
You don't know that? Because he said it was me and my older brother, so you don't know what the context of his was. It's probably better. It's probably higher up. So number 14, don't really know how to start this off, but I'm attracted to beds.
Okay.
And then we pause for studio audience laughter. It started, hold on, let me see here.
Oh man, you got a button?
I must have a button. Audience laughter. Where's the laughter? It's a laugh track. Okay, I don't know how it happened, but I'm attracted to beds. That was probably way too loud.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear it.
But that's okay.
Yeah, you should be lucky that you can't hear it. Okay. Very lucky out here. Where's the thing? Okay, yeah. I'm attracted to beds. It started somewhere during my early high school years when I was really starting to discover myself. You know, you really starting to discover yourself, boy. There was something about beds. The fact that when you go to sleep at night, you're always with them. Their purpose is to make you feel comfortable at night when you're at your most vulnerable. Anyway, I modified my twin bed towards the end of school, essentially tearing the fabric, shoving some pillows in the inside, and to make a little hole that I could insert myself into. I've always known that this behavior is odd, but I can't help myself. Nowadays, I live with my girlfriend. I don't have the twin beds anymore, but anytime we have sex, it has to be on the bed. Wow. If it's not, I can't get hard.
Okay.
This is the new Agtha right here.
Have you heard about the man who wants to be like a tampon?
You've actually piqued my interest, Stripes. My eyebrow raised so hard when you said that. Wants to be a tampon? You don't say. I look like a Pixar face just now when you were like, and a tampon. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Let's look that up later. That sounds like a video waiting to happen. Number 13. This secret is a bad one. When I was 15 and incredibly lonely one summer, I decided to make an OkCupid account. For those of you who don't know, that's a dating website for people 18 plus. I looked probably about 17 at the time, but I guess I could pass for 18, so I said I was 18 on my account. I got a lot of responses from guys instantly. There was this one that stood out to me. His name was James. He was a 22-year-old college student working at Tim Hortons, but me at 15 thought he was the most intelligent and beautiful person I've ever met. So you're 15 now? I thought he said he was 17. Probably about 17 at the time. Oh, I looked 17, but I was 15. She was 15. Okay. So... but me at 15 thought he was the most beautiful and intelligent person that I had ever met. We talked for 3 months, and then he turned 23. Now the age gap was 8 years. After those 3 summer months of staying up all night, we decided to meet up in person. It was Labor Day weekend when we met up. He picked me up from a gas station and drove me to his house. We lived 3 hours away, and I told him that my car didn't work, but really, I only had my permit and no car. I honestly think I fell in love with him and we hit it off completely. He was really attractive and different from guys my age. Guys my age would make fun of how I looked because they were insecure of themselves and tease me a lot when they were interested in me, which just confused me. But James would compliment me and joke with me, but never made me feel insecure. I really loved him, but when the relationship progressed, he was talking about having sex, and I told him that I was a virgin, which he was okay with. But after I turned 16, I realized that he was a 23-year-old man who could get in a lot of trouble if he was to sleep with me. I never told him my age because I knew he'd be disgusted with himself, so I just cut all ties with him one day. Women. I figured it was selfish to keep him around. He needed somebody who could be 100% honest with him. So in March, I basically blocked him on all social media and my phone. He didn't know where I lived, and I never saw or spoke to him again. It's been 2 years, but I sometimes stalk his Facebook. He's actually engaged now and graduated college. I'm so happy that everything is going well for him. I'm only 18 now, but I hope one day I'll find a guy who is as great as James.
Ugh.
And my name is Jesse. I just wanted to prepare for trouble. That's my joke. It's my totally relevant joke, you know. Remember Pokemon, guys?
You remember Pokemon Go? The Simpsons does.
Oh man, that story was kind of lame.
I really like. I think she owed it to him to at least have this guy have
trifling dykes gonna be trifling bitches, and that's the problem. She definitely should have just said something to the dude, but whatever. And she didn't give him none. That's messed up.
There was no closure.
She didn't give him none. That's what it's all about, Stripe.
No,
she
it's
ain't
not.
give him none. No, I'm talking about.
She was 15.
Whatever. I was 12. Number 12. I was picked on a lot in primary school. One kid, we'll call him Jonathan, got quite antsy with skipping ropes and used to whip me with them before chasing me all over the yard. I'm sorry. He also called me some pretty horrible names. Sorry.
Did he tie her up too?
You give me that dirty look one more time. Okay, look, when I was 10 years old, the bullying was relentless and spread to multiple people bullying me. If I told the school, they would tell off the bullies, but the behavior would still continue, so I decided to take matters into my own hand. And I got my gun after posting on dank memes and let them all know, today's the day. I'm kidding. As Jonathan came charging towards me with his friends, ready to start whipping, for lack of a better word, I stood right with a plastic tennis racket and with all of my anger spun in one complete circle. What, like some kind of anime move? Did he yell too, like Link in Legend of Zelda? I didn't expect to move so quickly, nor for the racket to hit anything. I was quite weird and had poor hand coordination when I was young, but the racket slammed straight to the side of his face, causing him to bleed quite heavily. He had to go home that day. I'm 17 now, and I've seen him a couple of times since. His head healed, but he sustained minor temporary brain damage because of it. Prior to me reuniting with him, I genuinely thought I had killed him. I swear, I'm sorry for reading it like that. Oh God. I still hate how I caused all of this damage to him. Jonathan's friends were simply too scared to tell the teacher what I did for fear of how I'd react. Yeah, it's funny how people change their tune when it comes to action. And that's what some people need, is a good fucking, like god damn. Like, do you see how stupid you're acting? Ugh.
Yeah, they really need some brain damage.
Usually the people who are defending themselves get into way more trouble than the people who are just spouting the bullshit or, being assholes.
Excuse me.
What was that?
A hiccup.
Sounded like a bark.
Thank you.
People want to see Stripes make a dog, so that's what they want.
I don't want to be a dog.
Dog soda Stripes. Okay.
I'm really used to being called a cow, so I think we're fine.
Well, there's that story. I don't know why it's a secret that would ruin his life,
It wouldn't. No one's gonna.
One time I was bullied and I took a racket to this dude's face. Guy got brain damage. I bust out a video game move on his ass. It was like a circular spin. When they hit me enough times, it activated my overdrive super ultimate, and I was like Reaper, but with a tennis racket. And I was like, serve this or something. It's like a fusion of Diva's line. Number 11. Possibly the most relatable. I don't care about the company or my work beyond a professional level. I do my work well because I'm paid, but I'm not working for extra for free. I don't buy into the mission at all, and the only reason that I don't want the place to go belly up is so I don't lose my job. If corporate heard this, it could ruin your life, because a lot have bought into force feed the delusion that work equals life. Hell, I know people who have been clearly shoved out of companies because of this. Tech is really bad about it. This isn't to say that I don't work hard from time to time, but I get paid for 40 hours, so I work hard for 40. You expect 60? Pay me, and I'll do that. But I don't care about the company changing the world, so I won't do it for free. What's wrong with that? This ain't it's a secret that could ruin his life in his instance.
If he's not a devoted employee, you mean?
People can't ask you for more than, you know what I mean? Come on, man. People need to grow the fuck up some days. People need to grow the fuck up.
Well, I guess that would put you on the chopping board, but it shouldn't.
It's more about, in a corporate scenario, it's more about the people who are at the top only remaining at the top because of the backs of the people that they're standing on. There's nothing heroic, there's nothing exemplary, there's nothing noteworthy or worthy of like recognition that these people are doing. All they're doing is anything to further their cause. They're getting jobs done by any means necessary. And there's nothing heroic about it. You know, if they got a certain amount of money, would they be donating that shit? Would they be making charities happen? Would they be giving money to China to further research for technology and making it so that we wouldn't have to rely on fossil fuels to, you know what I mean? They're not trying to invent new types of energy or forms of propulsion or some shit like this. They're just using it for personal selfish gain. And that's what it's all about. So expecting other people to do unrealistic and like crazy things, when if you were in that position, all you would use it for is yourself and perhaps your immediate family, that's like crazy. You can't expect the world of certain people. So I voted that guy because he's what I'm all about. Number 10, I drunkenly sucked my straight friend's dick. No.
Well, did you make him gay then?
I feel like
he didn't call himself straight, so I think we're good.
Yes. But this sounds like a brother. It sounds like a sister submission to the other one that was like, I was drunk and I let a guy suck me off. Got super drunk once and my gay friend stayed over. We went to bed and as we were chatting, his hand started moving and I didn't stop him. He ended up sucking my dick and I won't lie, it was good.
It's like two ships passing in the night.
Oh my God. Number 9, guys. It's going to get good. You know it's going to get good. Number 9. A while back, I was cheating on my wife with a coworker. It went on for months and I never really cared for the woman I was cheating with. She was super hot though. After a while, my coworker started getting really crazy and threatened to tell my wife, who I had a child with and a baby on the way, about everything. Obviously, I kept trying to cut things off because I realized I was making a huge mistake, only now because she wants to tell your wife. She lost it one night and was freaking out and texting me telling me she was going to come by my house, and a drunk driver hit her. She died instantly. No one knows I was having an affair, and my family went to her funeral. You know that. Okay, look, guys. Just take your right hand, right, and then curve it so that your hand bends at a 90-degree angle, and then ball your hand into a fist, but make it so that your thumb, even though it's in a fist position, is facing up. So like your fist is, I want to say, like vertical, as opposed to like, you know, with the back of your hand up. Put the back of your hand to your right side. Okay. Now extend your hand out, like not like fully straight, but just like a little bit, extend it out, and then bring it back to that 90-degree position where you're just like, yes, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You know, that's what that guy was doing at that funeral, where he was like, win-win, baby. I bet, you know, I banged that hot chick, he said to other people at the funeral. You know what I mean? It looks like everything worked out for this guy.
Is this like a sitcom ending or something?
Huh?
Everything worked out in the end. It's a sitcom.
The main comment is, I feel bad for your wife.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Your wife is pregnant and you're cheating on her. You sound like a garbage person, but I hope you're going to spend the rest of your life making it up to her and being the best version of yourself for your family.
She deserves better.
And then all the dudes in the post are like, the universe gave you a second chance, bruh. Don't fuck it up, man. Chaw. A response to the I feel bad for your wife post says, I never understood cheating. If you want to have sex with other people, tell the current person you are with that you want to leave them, or perhaps blah, blah, blah. Again, here's my angle on it, guys. A lot of people are, you know, totally down with swinging or, you know, having multiple partners, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Just make it clear to them. Why y'all dragging people who only want one partner in an exclusive relationship into your whirlwind of garbage because you can't keep it in your pants? You slut. You slut. Number 8, I let myself marry and then be left by a very sexually confused man. He had 2 children. We had 2 children together, but the sex with him was like dry toast. You're probably never going to hear sex compared to dry toast in your life. Dry isn't good. Toast? Okay. with a little bit of butter on top. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe you even go to Einstein Bagels and get like one of their nice spreads. You know what I mean? Fuck the bagels at Einstein Bagels, but they got some. Am I thinking about Einstein Brothers? Are Einstein even bagels? What am I thinking of? Yeah, they're bagels. I typed Einstein in, and then the internet was like bagels. Is this what I'm thinking of?
About a coffee place
yeah,
or
dude,
something?
they are Einstein Bagels. I just never say them out loud, so it sounds weird. I was thinking, I was picturing a picture of Einstein. Einstein Bagels has like this honey. Come on here, you give me the honey. Is it honey almond schmear? What's that? Is this the one? I think this is the one. They got this honey almond schmear. It's pretty good. So, this video is brought to you in part by Einstein Brothers Bagels. Honey almond.
They never give you money.
All right, fine.
You don't got bagel money.
Maybe someday I'll have bagel money. Someday.
I didn't mean to hurt you. I never meant to hurt you.
God damn it! They don't have it on Amazon. What is my life? At any rate, what was I talking about? Okay, look, number 8.
Dry toast. Dry toast.
The sex was like dry toast. Having limited sexual experience before him, I just assumed that this was normal. Looking back, he mentioned thinking about men while we dated. That was so peculiar to me. I just couldn't make sense of it. I'm kidding, they didn't write that. I brushed it off. 3 months after he finally... 3 months... 3 months... 3 months after he finally left me and our daughters, I turned on a tablet he used and found his Google still logged in. His Google photo account was photos of him with men in various sex acts. I can't ever tell anyone about this. So many people thought we were the perfect couple with a beautiful family. My self-esteem suffered so bad because he'd rarely touch me, and I assumed it was me. I'm so tired of the guilt I receive from other people insinuating that I could have done more to save my marriage for the girl's sake. Yeah, I like the idea of like other girlfriends swooping in going, "You should have just dealt with it. These children need a daddy." And he's more than just a regular daddy. Bing bong. Okay, sister, I'm trying to get my life together now. I'm 31, healthy, in good shape, but I spent almost 10 years being devoted to a devout stay-at-home mom and a wife to a man with many dark secrets. And now I have to learn how to do everything all over again. No career experience, 2 years of college. Thankfully, I have no debt with 2 beautiful daughters. I just wish that people would stop pressuring me about my marriage ended. Aw. Please, I'm finally receiving positive attention from men and knowing what it feels like to be wanted. Aww. But if my family or friends knew the truth, they'd blame me for overlooking what I did for as long as I did. Somebody said, I just wish people would stop pressuring me about why my marriage ended. And then somebody else says, not their business, fuck them. Even I'm going to be Kyle to my own Kyleing here and be like, I can come off with some insensitive bullshit, but we'll never know what that's like. Some people live in a world where they're forced to deal with people who have nothing to do with their life but think that they know everything about it. You feel me? Some people are incapable of what we call perspective, and some people believe that even if they've gone through what you've gone through, like if something happened to you and it happened to them, they think they know everything about it and that it's just going to work for you because it worked for them and everybody's the same. And why are there any wars? You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't like it like that. So why would anybody else? Just ridiculous. But it's really sad because she cares. And she's probably, like I said, forced to deal with some people who get up on a horse that has nothing to do with them and are up in this lady's cooch about, well, you should have done this so that your marriage didn't end. Come on now, lady. Number 7. My God, this is long. All right. And their name is, oh, holy fuck. My whole Sorry, I was like wondering how you something to drink. You think I need something to drink?
I've got something to drink. You should get something too.
Man. All right. Oh.
Wait, no, intermission. Come on.
You can do no fucking intermission on number 7. Number 7. My whole professional life is built on a lie, and it's about ready to come down. When I was number 22. Why did you say that?
What?
When I was 22, shut up. When I was 22, I was in a bad way. Halfway through I have been training myself to say number before numbers.
Number 22.
Shut up. It's not like that. When I was 22, I was in a bad way. Halfway through my bachelor's degree, but was building addiction to opiates and some mental health issues. Come on, Kyle, just fire through this. Summer of that year, I was in a bad car accident. In addition to broken bones throughout my body, my head went through the window, and my face received severe lacerations that required hundreds of stitches to close and left me looking very rough. As tough as that was to deal with, I also know that I sustained a traumatic brain injury that left me very confused, angry, and overwhelmed by life in general. I wanted to keep up appearance, so after taking 3 months off to recover, I tried to go back to school. Within the first week, I knew I couldn't handle it. Too many questions about what happened, too much anxiety. I had lost pretty much all of my coping skills. When I got overwhelmed, which happened often, I would feel sick and scared and literally forget where I was and what I was doing. It was a frightening and embarrassing experience, especially for someone like me who had always had high expectations placed on my shoulders by those around me. I had lost pretty much all of my friends at this point, and in my mental state, I thought that those who remained would abandon me if they knew how much I was struggling. So I told everyone that it was going great. Every day I would leave the house for 6 hours and drive. Sometimes I would stop in a parking lot. Sometimes I would just keep driving all day. I would find cheap used textbooks at college bookstores, and I would bring them home and study. I created elaborate lies about my classes and my professors in order to have stories to tell people when they asked how it was going. I kept myself at it because, that I was just doing it until my brain worked again, and the next quarter I would go back for real and I could actually handle it. Problem is, things just kept getting worse, and as time went on, I became less able to get back on track. This went on for 2.5 years until I was supposed to be graduating, so I lied about that too. I forged transcripts and came up with stories of why I didn't go back to work in the field of my degree, and I hoped to move past it. I got a labor job and slowly found things working themselves out as my brain chemistry improved, and steady work kept me from completely destroying myself. Eventually, I had to move. The first time in over a decade, I was finally free of opiate addiction and started to feel part of the world again. But I was still carrying the lie of my college degree. I volunteered in some places related to the field, and they really liked me. They liked me so much, in fact, that they hired me on an emergency basis, no transcripts required. And I've worked there ever since. Now 3 years into my sobriety, and seemingly a lifetime removed from the pain of those years, they want to promote me to a career level job that I would absolutely love. I'm so good at what I do. It brings me so much joy, but this promotion would come with scrutiny and background checks that I know I can't stand up to. When I was so depressed, I honestly didn't think I'd even live this long, so while I knew that my lies would create the situation, I never prepared for it. Worse than losing this job would be having everyone around me find out what happened. So I am at the point now where I have to quit what I love because they like me too much. I plan to go back to school for real. I think I'll do well. But the shame and regret of the situation is something I don't think I'll ever shake. Man, I think he can continue faking it to make it.
I mean, if he's not really happy, then what's the point of putting on a face?
Somebody said he should get legal advice, which would be cheaper than quitting. Because again, if they were willing to hire him, then they could probably push him even further, even without the right documentation. Because again, getting work in a fiscally, lucrative scenario isn't about what paperwork you have or your stupid ass background. It's about who you know. right? So if you've greased the wheels as far as the contraption, all of the social circles you've been jumping through with these assholes that seem to really, really like you, it's not about, hey, look at this piece of paper that I got for reading these books and you know what I mean? Taking these obsolete ass classes. It's more about who you know. And like those other scenarios that we were reading about for, every other list that we've ever read, Jesus, bing bong.
Do you know how many TV shows and cartoons have been made by people that never went to film school?
Do you know
It's
how
really
many people
impressive.
must be dying that don't have me anywhere in their insurance?
Don't have you in your insurance?
In their insurance.
You in their insurance.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's just lost money. It's like money down the drain for me.
Oh, you mean because you didn't get any of it?
Yeah, somebody should be leaving me like an acre of land right now so that I can build like a... You know what I would do if I had an acre of land? I wouldn't even build a house. I would get like, like those pods?
I'll never understand why you made me write you into my will last week. Why'd you do that?
Don't believe Stripes' lies, guys. I didn't do that. Did you just fart?
No, I laughed. I laughed.
Yeah. If I had an acre of land, I'd put a pod on it. I'd probably connect 3 pods. Put like get some plumbing and
What
put
do
a
I
toilet in
even
there.
own that you want? I don't get it.
What?
I don't own anything you want except for that 800 in my bank.
Why would I want your money, Stripes? It's tainted with the blood of the Stripes. Nothing but the blood of Stripes. So we read this one, right?
I think we finished it, yeah.
Number 6. My cousin raped me several times.
Wait, is this the person we're supposed to watch out for?
No, it's not.
Okay.
This person's username is Watch Your Damn Mouth. Okay. My cousin raped me several times. My grandmother passed away yesterday, and my father is making funeral arrangements and needs me there with him. I'm panicked because I need to be with my father, but the same cousin will be there. He will try again. I don't know what to do. I know it's easy to say, don't be left alone with him. Do be left alone with him. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? Do be left alone with him. Okay? I know you broads are fucking stupid. Okay? But if you've been raped several times by somebody, what's one more time? As rude as that is to say. What's one more time? If you can bring this dude down, what is being raped by a guy one more time? Okay? Set up a camera. Get your phone recording whatever it needs to. Be very vocal and audible about what you don't want. Make a little bit of like, I'm resisting you noises. If you could even trap a motherfucker by saying something like, I didn't want this the last time and I don't want it now. And then get them to respond to that. You know what I mean? You got this, motherfucker. The law will jump on this crap because they have evidence. Not in this day and age, guys. Not in this day and age. I don't have patience for this shit. If you want to be a victim, but you don't get to be stupid too. Okay? Sorry. Number 5, man. Ugh. Does anybody learn any lessons ever?
Hopefully from you. But
this shit bums me out. I'm not reading these trying to get triggered.
Yeah, it's just like if no one applies what you're saying, then what's the point?
Dude, like for real though, how many times you get raped in this day and age, dude? You know what I mean? I know some females for real. With Kyle blood running through their veins. And if any dude tried to force them into a situation where they doing something that they didn't like, they would go along with it after they've been overpowered, get themselves into a position where it's like they enjoying it and they want to do something for them, get their face near this nigga's dick and bite it the fuck off. You feel me? I'm not joking. They're bad. I'm talking like these females are the types where it's like he better have a gun because I'm gonna rip this nigga's dick off with my teeth and see just how how much he'll be able to control himself, and you know what I mean. He'll have his wits about him then, right, Stripes? Oh my God.
A woman's done that before and made the man bleed out and die.
Oh no! Our hearts go out to all the rapists who had their dick bit off and
no. It wasn't like he raped him. It's they just got into like a squabble over a car accident, and then she got down, bit his dick off, and ran.
You think she spit it out?
I don't know.
You think she's got like a? Think she's got a jar of like dickheads? You want to see my dickheads? Number 5. I get paid a 6-figure salary for a standard 40-hour-a-week corporate job for a massive, well-known company. In a given week, I do maybe an hour of actual work. The rest of the time, I am on Reddit or YouTube slacking off. I thought when I got this job that eventually someone would figure it out, that I don't do anything all day. But here I am, 14 years later, still doing fuck all and getting paid for it.
He's living the dream.
I guess all we can do is be jealous because I'll never make that cash. Never. I'll just be observing people who do. I have so much to give. Number 4. Back when I was 19, I was a single mom living in a state with no family besides my daughter, and I was struggling. I had my massage therapy license and was working at a spa, but I wasn't making enough to pay my bills. I would have men come over after my daughter was asleep, or I'd bring my massage table over to their place and give them a massage with a happy ending for a decent amount of money. Oh my God. I was just gonna ask like that, but not like in the context of making more money. It was just, he was like, oh, I was a massage therapist working at a spa, and I was like, I wonder how many guys came in and were just like, come on, crank it up. You know what I mean? Holy crap. This was nearly 7 years ago, and something I've never told anyone. I could lose my massage therapy license if the board ever found out. You've been given happy endings.
There's a board?
Yeah, there's a massage therapy board. The board of elders. Their hands are always in like glass cases because, oh my God. Anyway, I'm in a better place, and I tell myself I did what I needed to make sure my daughter was taken care of. Yeah, guys, sometimes you got to make ends meet. There's nothing shameful about this. I guess you don't want the people in your life to know, you know what I mean? Whatever. But we all doing shit to make ends meet. You know what I'm talking about? Number 3.
You couldn't have made that sound more gay.
What? You gay?
I'm not.
Number 3. Some guy convinced naive 15-year-old me to send nudes and then used it against me for 6 months. He found me on Facebook and threatened to send them to my friends list if I didn't do whatever he asked me to do. He would make me get online whenever he asked, and he'd have me masturbate for him. He even tried to get me to meet up with him in person. I got really lucky when his profile just disappeared one day, and I took that opportunity to delete every social media account I had. I haven't gone back since, and I never will. It really fucked me up for a while, but I don't really have anyone to blame but myself. It's been 6 years since, and I still haven't told anyone that I know this story. Somebody said I don't really blame I don't really have anyone to blame but myself. Someone says, yes, you do. You blame the fucking creep who blackmailed and threatened a 15-year-old, taking advantage of the naivete and impulse decision making that teenagers are literally known for and incapable of overcoming until the brain chemistry settles down.
Fuck that.
What?
At 15, you are responsible for your actions.
For sure, but you are still just a little more temperamental. Like chemically, there's just a fucking war going on inside you. So I'm not saying that no one's accountable. We're just saying that at least it makes a little more sense at that age, you know?
Man.
Bing bong. Number 2 here. Oh, number 1's deleted, is it? We'll fix that.
I think you mean number 22.
Number 2. What secret could ruin my life? I secretly take off my hijab. On social media, I wear the hijab. In front of all my parents, other family, most of my friends, I wear the hijab. Here's my story. When I graduated 2 years ago, I decided to look for a job. And wasn't able to land anything.
Wait, a job?
In my hijab. You know what hijab is, right? It's like a head cloak.
It's a headdress.
Yeah. I came up with the idea to start interviewing without wearing one. And once I got an offer, I'd start wearing it again. I ended up getting 2 great offers, which made me really sad that my theory of taking it off and easily finding a job was true. I took one and haven't worn it to work at all. I don't know what happened in the mix of things. I guess I started to like the attention men gave me, and I actually felt like I belonged and was normal with my peers. It was a feeling I've never felt. Everyone started treating me different, as if I was worth speaking to. Hey, if you're a girl and you wear a hijab, send me a message on Snapchat, because I want to see what you look like with it on and with it off. It's okay. I won't tell anybody.
I've seen girls who look cute in their hijabs, but I'm sure they look better without one.
Yeah, but they probably got really nice hair they're hiding under there. The thing is, when you cover stuff up, you're just making it like taboo. Why are you doing that? So here's number 1. It's been deleted. A likely story. Let's see what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Good thing I saved this shit earlier, trying to play around with me. Number 1. I found my dad's child pornography stash and reported him to the police. He thinks one of his former coworkers ratted him out. As I was only 13 at the time, the police agreed to raid our house in addition to his workplace. The raid simply consisted of a really nice detective who was friends with my mom, who simply stopped by to pick up my dad's PC. If he or his family ever worked it out, I'm pretty sure they'd kill me, as the charges fucked him over pretty massively. Bing bong. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Guys, did you enjoy these life-ruining secrets? You know? Well, if you did, I don't know. Be nice to your fellow man or something. Or show me some love. You know what I'm talking about. You know where that wish list is in the description. Special thanks to Kevin. Oh, look, it's a baby in a mirror. Oh, stripes.
Wait. Okay, go into the comments and see if someone superimposed wasted onto that.
Oh God, you want wasted gifs of everything.
I do.
The comedic timing of both these kids falling.
Oh, I've seen this.
That's crazy. At any rate,
You know, to add on to the don't believe stripes gag we've had, I wanted to just throw in a joke where I'm pregnant, but then I realized it's too real.
How is it too real when it's not? Do you think you're pregnant, Stripes?
No.
Again, special thanks to Kevin, who sent a replacement wallet following some nasty stuff that happened in my life. So I appreciate you and hope that we can get some more shit going on soon. We hope to stream soon as well. So you guys...
Oh, how soon do you want to stream?
Well, this list was probably close to 3 hours, Stripes. You know?
So I'm guessing you need to unwind.
Yeah, considering I just came in from like doing that fence and jumped straight into this freaking list. So guys, if I don't know if you want to do something for me, just put on like a playlist of all of my like videos and then go to sleep. Have that open in a tab.
Aw, that's cute.
Sombra looks for safety behind enemy lines. This is so stupid.
Now, back to the man who wants to be a tampon.
We'll deal with it later. I'm dying. Oh man. You know what I really want is that World War II game for the Call of Duty. A sleeping Pokemon blocks the way. Hey, look, a picture with 2 Snorlaxes.
Wait, oh.
I'm kidding. I'm a chunky dude too. Whatever, guys. Love you. See you later. This list was huge. Like this guy.